the full member they are here.
That's the purpose of roll call, though.
No, just try to make sure they are here.
So if you're a full member, just type a Y into chat box and only one person type.
Only
full member.
Only full member.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9. Yeah, okay, so everyone's here. Now, so I'll proceed to roll call. So if I type, hold on. So if I mention your association name, please only have one person type Y into the chat box. So I have NAPS Australia, MAPS India, ISMA Farsi Indonesia, APS Japan, My PSA Malaysia, NSAPSO New Zealand, KNAPS Republic of Korea, NUSPS Singapore, PSAT Thailand, PSMH SKSU Hong Kong, BMFU Indonesia, BIM KMFA UNPAD Indonesia, BIM KMFA UGM Indonesia, BIM USD Indonesia, HMF API TB Indonesia, BIM USD Indonesia, FLP Nepal, NPSA Nepal, PPHSF Pakistan, FJPha Philippines, JPPha Pi Philippines, UPPSHA Philippines, PSA Taiwan, UCPSA Uzbekistan, UPPSHA Vietnam, VNU-HCMPO Vietnam. Okay, so we have 9 full members voting, and then we also have 16 MIAs present.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. So now we need to start to resume the standing order. May I have the member association to propose? Okay, proposed by MAPS India, 1 to second. Okay, second by my PSA Malaysia. So because this is the procedure motion, so I would just ask for those who are against. Okay, so for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So we will move to our motion 43. This the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly appoints Mr. Siam Brian Wong, HOM New Zealand, Mr. Yulin Chai, IM Taiwan, and Mr. Yang Ziwei, my PSA Malaysia, as members of the motions committee for the duration of this regional assembly. This motion should not be reviewed once it has been achieved. So I will proceed to the voting. So as well, this is the procedure motion. I will just ask for those who are against.
Mike, this is not a procedural motion.
So, okay,
so,
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry for the mistake. So I still will just ask for the against and also the for the motion. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So I will proceed to the next motion. Motion 44. This is the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly appoint Ms. Hu Jieqi Brittany, a USPS Singapore, and Ms. Monica Marin Kurniawan, HMF APITP Indonesia, and Ms. Shannon Grace Gritnitra, UPPSHA Philippines, and Ms. Rachel Wong, my PSA Malaysia, as scrutineers for the duration of this regional assembly. This motion should not be reviewed once it has been achieved. For those who are, so I will proceed to the voting. For those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So let's move to the next motion 45. This the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts Mr. Yang Ziwei, my PSA Malaysia, and Ms. Jen Lee, my PSA Malaysia, as meeting secretaries for the duration of this regional assembly. This motion should not be reviewed once it has been achieved. So now we are proceed to the voting. For those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. All right, so the motion passed unanimously. Now we'll move to the motion 46. This is the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly appoints Mr. Sian Brian Wan, Ms. Warayu Lengwiriyakun, and Mr. Mian Chan as members of the Honorary Life Membership Committee for the duration of this regional assembly. This motion should not be reviewed once it has been achieved. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please try to show your vote. Please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So later on, this HLM will try to join our regional assembly. So I will let you know once they are here. Okay. So now we'll proceed to the next motion, motion 47. This the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adapts the annual report of the contact person of JPPha Pi, Philippines for 2019 to 20. So may I have the representative from JPPha Pi to present your annual report?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
So can I share my screen now?
Yes.
Can you see my presentation?
Yes, so you will have 8 minutes to present your annual report, and I will try to remind you when 3 minutes left in the chat box, and I will directly mute you once the time is up, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So good day, everyone. I am Sam, the contact person of JPPHA Pi chapter, here to present an annual report. So my report will include a brief introduction of our organization, our projects and activities, as well as our involvement and collaboration with IPSF APRO and other local healthcare students organization in Cebu City, which also includes projects put on hold due to the pandemic, the student exchange program, and our final remarks. So the Junior Philippine Pharmacists Association Pi chapter, or JPPHA Pi, is an organization of pharmacy students in the University of San Carlos with 180 members, which advocates for improvements to pharmaceutical education, strategies, and health studies. It remains steadfast in promoting excellence, integrity, compassion, and service. Here is our organizational chart showing the elected officers from the president, vice presidents of different affairs, its respective team heads and officers, which plans, organizes, and work to make our projects and activities for our members successful. So moving on with our projects and activities. So on October 2019, we had a plenary session with Bachelor of Pharmacy students from Okayama University, Japan, which aimed to immerse our members with the latest technology in the pharmacy profession in Japan and enabled us to learn more about the profession and the curriculum of the Bachelor of Pharmacy in Japan through their interaction during the plenary session. So it was participated by pharmacy and clinical pharmacy students and instructors. Next is the Communication Strategy Seminar on the same month. It had a theme of effective communication for better science and improved health outcomes. It tackled about the best methods of communication with other healthcare professionals such as nurses, nutritionists and dietitians, as well as doctors in order to improve healthcare service delivery and consequently health outcomes. It was made successful through the collaboration of different organizations from the Department of Nursing and Nutrition and Dietetics of the university. It was participated by pharmacy and clinical pharmacy students and instructors. Next, we also had a donation drive for fire victims, for it is our university's brand of education to exhibit community extension services. So in order to become servant leaders and help with the community. So with the objectives to apply values of camaraderie and social responsibility as student pharmacists, we were able to accumulate 10,000 pesos in cash and provide OTC drugs. The financial assistances were donated by our pharmacy students, but due to safety concerns, only selected officers of JPPHA Pi were allowed to go to the affected area. JPPH Pi also participated in celebration of the World Cancer Day in showing support for people battling and recovering from cancer through forming a ribbon which is used to symbolize the solidarity for people with cancer and of the awareness and prevention of the said illness. It was participated by our own pharmacy students. On January 2020, the organization also participated in the IPSF APRO country research project regarding universal healthcare in the Philippines in collaboration with member organizations FGC PPHA and UPPHA, which aim to educate students of the state of universal healthcare in the Philippines and the current role of pharmacists in the healthcare system. The organization conducted the Amazing Race on March 2020, which was a recreational activity designed for Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy and Clinical Pharmacy students, which engaged them physically as well as mentally through different games and activities which test out their abilities for teamwork and strategy. Despite the lack of manpower, the organization was successful in this event. Before the Philippine government had sanctioned community lockdown nationwide, the organization was able to conduct a COVID-19 awareness campaign to debunk myths about COVID-19 in its earliest stages. We also teach them on how to prevent transmission and to correct them of the proper use of antibiotics during this earliest stage. We were able to have a wide reach to students and instructors as well as staff of the university, which allowed them to ask questions and become more informed. Since some classrooms were not visited due to ongoing classes, we also put up banners and gave out flyers filled with information about COVID-19. During the community lockdown, the organization conducted the hand washing challenge through TikTok in order to spread awareness of proper hand washing techniques, which is vital in the battle against the pandemic. The faculty started off the challenge with their own entry, followed by the students uploading their own versions online. This spreads awareness to the public, especially those with access in social media. Since in this time of uncertainty, the value of credible, reliable, and trusted information is of utmost importance. The organization regularly posts infographics concerning health safety in this pandemic and posts updates on the methods of testing and other vital information regarding COVID-19, which is made possible through collaboration with Young Pharmacist Group Cebu and the Department of Pharmacy of the university. This is made available through our FB page, and through that, we are currently trying to increase our reach and engagement. So projects on hold. Due to the current pandemic, the Cebu Pharmacy Inter-School Summit was put on hold in its earliest stages. The planning stage was halted due to the pandemic. So it should have been participated by 7 schools of pharmacies from 7 universities in Cebu City. Once community restrictions has been lifted, we will continue the planning stage immediately. So the student exchange program in JPPHA Pi had a quota of one outgoing student. JPPHA Pi was not able to receive incoming students. There has been plans of sending the outgoing students in this summer student exchange program. And our officer asked for a letter of invite from the IPSF last January, but this was quickly discouraged by the organization due to the university's strict protocols with international travels in light with COVID-19. So from a group of 5 second-year students for the first time dating a well-established organization in a university, the officers made it their utmost responsibility to give their members the values needed to be an effective pharmacist in the future. It's then an honor to share this accomplishment to all of IPSF APRO, knowing that they did their best amidst the surging pandemic. So though despite the difficulties faced by the officers having very hectic academic schedule, we are trying to resolve this by conducting trainings for lower classmen who wish to lead the next mandate. In this way, they would be able to grasp the responsibility that are designated by the officers. That would be all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sam, and also thank you for that good time management. So now I'll proceed to the open discussion. So now I open the floor for discussion. If you have any comments, any questions, feel free to show your number card. Wendy, do we have any questions?
No one has raised their number cards.
Okay, good. So now I close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, thank you. So the motion passed unanimously. So congratulations to JPPha Pi. Okay, now we'll proceed to the next motion. Motion 48. This is the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accept and adapts the annual report of the contact person of UPPHA Philippines for 2019 to 20. So may I have the representative from UPPHA?
Hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Can I start now?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Miguel from UPPSHA Philippines. So UPPSHA stands for University of the Philippines Pharmaceutical Association, Pharmaceutical Association. So our student council is the one in charge of us. So brief background of our organization. University of the Philippines Pharmaceutical Association is a member in association in IPSF APRO, And the University of the Philippines Pharmaceutical Association is the alpha chapter of the Federation of Junior Chapters of the Philippine Pharmacists Association, or FJCPPHA. UFA is a democratic organization of students of the UP College of Pharmacy with an elected 6 executive committee members and 10 batch representatives. So UFA holds various projects through the year which aim to foster a friendly and less stressful environment for our students and to provide an avenue for personal and professional growth. So here's a quick review of our organizational structure. So we have our president, vice president, secretary for internal affairs, external affairs, finance, and our college representative to the university student council. We also have 10 batch representatives, two per batch of each degrees, which are Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences or Industrial Pharmacy. Under our student council are the different service leagues. So for the first events are the IPSF events. So UFA Philippines was able to send delegates to APRO events such as the online LIT, online PCE, poster competition, and Beyond Health Hack, and significantly increased the student participation in IPSF. Next is the Fight with the Fakes campaign with IPSF. So the University of the Philippines Pharmaceutical Association Student Council participated in the IPSF Fight the Fakes photo competition and encouraged our student body to join the fight against counterfeit medicines. Next is our Mental Health Month celebration and film showing. It is a college-wide film showing in our student lounge featuring feel-good movies such as Inside Out for all the students of the college to help alleviate mental health stresses of academics. Also, free ice cream was also given to our students. So if you can see the picture, these are the movies that our organization chose to show to our students. Next is our Tondo Medical Mission. So a quick background, Tondo is one of the densely populated areas in Manila, which houses a lot of low to low medium income families. So in partnership with FAMCOSEF, or short for fa- forgot wait Fa- I will get back to that. So FAMCOSEF is a non-government organization which aims to uh, help the public in gaining medical knowledge, general education about medicines, and also they provide various missions for the underprivileged, such as medical missions. So a medical mission for the World Day of the Poor, providing basic services such as a general checkup and free medicines, gave our students the opportunity to make an impact serving the community and practice their dispensing skill. So the students of UFA were able to practice assisting the licensed pharmacists during the mission. So they were all supervised by licensed pharmacists while doing the mission. Next is Adopt Award. So Adopt Award is in partnership with our Department of Nursing. So it is an annual outreach program where volunteers adopt awards. So the, uh, this uh, this this term, the ward that was adopted by UFA was the emergency medicine ward. So it is in the Philippine General Hospital. The volunteers gave out gifts for patients in the ward and entertained them with games and performances to help celebrate the Christmas spirit. So college organizations volunteered in the packing and distribution of hygiene kits, the collection of financial support from the faculty members, and the conduction of games and performances for the event. So next is our World Antibiotic Awareness Campaign. So UFA also participated in the celebration of the World Antibiotic Awareness Week and pledged continued support towards this goal, aligning with WHO WPRO's Stewards of the Future campaign, encouraging students to join through online material and posters on the campus. Next is UFA Research Forum. So basically, this one is focused for students who are undergoing their research work. The research forum was hosted to help the students become more knowledgeable regarding research ethics boards, applications and grants, and assist students currently creating research proposals. So this forum was basically like a technical support forum for those who are undergoing the process of research work. Next is the folic acid online campaign in partnership with Folic Acid PH. So UFA SC joined the Volunteer Youth Leaders for Health Philippines on its online campaign, Folic Acid PH, through sharing informational materials, display picture blasts on Facebook, and conducting discussions on the importance of folic acid. Next is Type Kita, or in English, You're My Type. It is a blood drive campaign in partnership with the different student councils in our university. So this aimed to address the critical shortage of blood products such as blood bags in the Philippine General Hospital. Next is Headlines 2020. It is in partnership with the Industrial Pharmacy Honor Society, a college organization. It is a seminar to inculcate awareness on students regarding the current issues and trends in healthcare. So we had four speakers during that in four different pharmaceutical fields, such as psychiatric pharmacy, clinical trial pharmacy, regulatory pharmacy, and oncology pharmacy. And lastly are the COVID-19 related projects. So due to the pandemic, in coordination with the University Student Council and many other organizations in the university, COVID-19 projects were also executed, such as donation drives for the Philippine General Hospital, unity statements urging the use of medical and science-based responses to the pandemic, and campaigns for our frontliners. So as you can see the future in the pictures, I'm sorry. So as you can see the pictures, uh, one project that was held was the campaign for PGH needs masks. So this happened on the early stage of the pandemic, wherein there was a shortage of supply, not only on the PGH but for the whole country. So this campaign aimed to collect all the possible donations that PGH can get through the different student councils, including UPA. So it is not on the slide, but there are some projects that were canceled due to the pandemic lockdown, which canceled most of the semester. So one is our Bulagaan, which is our annual pageant, which aims to develop camaraderie between the different students of our organization, and the Philippine Pharmacy Summit, which is an annual forum regarding the pharmacy profession in the Philippines. So that is all for our organization. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Miko, the presentation, and thank you for the good time management. So now I will proceed to open the floor for discussion. So if you have any question, any comments, please feel free to show your number card. Okay, so we have one comment from UI Indonesia.
All right, thanks, Mike. So Salsa here from FFUI. Thanks, Miguel, for the amazing presentation. So I have questions for your programs, which is the World Day of the Poor. Do you provide any follow-up checks for the participants or only one-time checkup? Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Salsa. So it was only a one-day campaign or a one-day health project of FAMCOSEF. So yeah, it's only one day, and the FAMCOSEF is an organization that regularly does it, but UFA was only able to participate in one medical mission because, of course, there were supposed to be other medical missions in partnership with FAMCOSEF. However, due to COVID-19, a lot of them were canceled as well. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any more comments, any questions from the speaking list? Okay, since none. So I will close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so we have 1 abstain and 8 for. So the motion passed. So congratulations to UPPHA Pi and look forward to your APBS update report later on. So now we'll proceed to the next motion. Motion 49 is the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adapts the annual report of the contact person of PSA Taiwan for 2019 to 20. So may I have the representative from PSA Taiwan? All right, so Chair, you have 8 minutes. Okay.
Hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sure. Hi guys, I'm Cherry. I'm Director of Professional Development at PSA Taiwan, and so PSA Taiwan, or Pharmaceutical Students Association of Taiwan, is a member in IPSF and represents about 3,500 pharmacy students from 9 schools. And we aim to strengthen the relationship between pharmacy schools, building stronger contact with pharmaceutical students and associations worldwide. So this is our organization chart. We have an internal committee, an external committee, and other administrative departments. So moving on to the projects and activities in this mandate. Firstly, we have the PSA Taiwan Campus Promotion for International Affairs, which was held from September to October in 2019. And it was kind of like an orientation program for our freshmen. So we would introduce IPSF, student exchange programs, the World Congress, APBS, and a total of 422 students were reached this year. So these are the photos. And next, we have the 21st PSA Taiwan Annual Congress on January 17th to 20th this year. The theme this year was Dark Horse, and we had symposiums, workshops, and also a clinical skills event, as well as social night events throughout the 4-day Congress. We had 103 participants this year, including 7 international delegates who applied through the foreigners package. So the foreigners package is a special offer for international students, especially for members from KNAPS and APS Japan. So this year we had 2 Japanese, 4 Koreans, 1 Malaysian, and also Tada for as one of our lecturers for our workshops. And the students in the foreigners package is paired up with an interpreter from the International Affairs Department of PSA Taiwan, so that the foreigners could understand the Mandarin-based content of the Congress. Okay, as for IPSF APRO events, first up we have World Polio Day, which was held on October 24th, and we prepared 9 infographics on our social medias and reached over 9,400 views. Next is the AMR campaign. We conducted both online and offline campaigns from November 25th to 27th, and around 250 people participated in the offline events. For the TB Day campaign, we targeted 2 different groups and prepared 2 sets of infographics. There is as you can see, there is a simplified version aiming to raise public awareness, and a professional version for healthcare professionals and students. For World No Tobacco Day, PSA Taiwan made a 5-minute video to raise public awareness. Also, we launched Leaders and Training this year prior to our annual Congress, and it was held on January 15th to 17th in 2020, and we had 19 participants. Also, owing to the COVID outbreak, the PCE event that would have been held on May 29th was switched online, and it was held via Skype, and we had 16 participants, 7 in beginners and 9 in advanced. Moving on to the collaborations with APRO member organizations. First, we had COVID-19 collaborative campaign with APS Japan and KNAPS, aiming on the information regarding COVID. The infographics reached over 4,200 views on PSA Taiwan's fan page, and there were a total of 12 participants who completed the whole campaign. We also had a Mandarin article collaboration with my PSA and NUSPS and PSMS HKUSU. The topic is the government policies in response to COVID-19 outbreak and the challenges pharmacists face. And the article was posted on June 22nd and a total of 2,200 views until now. Last, we had the Joint Pharmacy and Public Health Student Seminar, or JOPS for short. We collaborated with the Federal Public Health Students Association in Taiwan to conduct a series of 5 webinars in late May to discuss topics such as novel communicable diseases and pandemic preventive measures. For upcoming projects, we still have the Diplomacy and International Affairs Camp in late August, and also an EBM workshop, NGO collaboration training camp, World Pharmacist Day campaigns to come. For SEP, PSA Taiwan provides community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy research in the university. This year for winter SEP, we have 4 successful incoming students and 5 outgoing students. For summer SEP, we had 27 outgoing students approved and 1 incoming student who had arrived in Taiwan before the borders were closed, and she will be continuing her SEP this summer. We also had events like rotation programs, welcome party, and SEP tours provided for our student exchange programs. So in total, PSA Taiwan has sent 10 PAFs this mandate, and all of them were shared to the global SCP group. Basically, we didn't encounter any significant difficulties this year, only that if we could provide more attractive prizes, maybe we could increase the amount of people who participate in our collaboration projects. That is all from PSA Taiwan. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. All right, so now I open the floor for discussion. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free to show your number card. Wendy, do we have any comments?
There's no comments.
Okay, so now I close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. So for those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so we have 2 for abstain and 7 for for. So the motion passed. So congratulations to PSA Taiwan. And now we have 1 new comment from VEMFFUI Indonesia. Is the question you like to ask PSA Taiwan report? If yes, probably next time you need to put the I earlier.
Thanks, Mike. So it's actually for the Taiwan. I think I'll pass this time. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll proceed to the motion 50. So this the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly. Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adapts the annual report of the contact person of UCPSA Uzbekistan for 2019 to 20. So now, may I have the representative from UCPSA? Nagisa, you can try to share your. So Nagisa, you will have 8 minutes for presentation, and I will try to remind you when 3 minutes left, and I will directly mute you once the time is up. Are you ready?
Can you see my screen?
Nagisa, please let me know once you are ready.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see, but your voice is a little bit small.
Mm. Okay. Thank you. Hi, everyone. This is Nargiza, CP of UCPSA Uzbekistan. UCPSA Uzbekistan Pharmaceutical.
Sorry, Nagisa, can you try to speak louder because, or maybe you need to get closer to your microphone.
Okay. This is Nargiza from UCPSA Uzbekistan. UCPSA Uzbekistan Pharmaceutical Students Association was established in May 2017, and in 2019 became a member of IPSF. UCPSA represents nearly 3,000 pharmacy and pharmaceutical science students and recent graduates in Uzbekistan. Currently, there are 60 members in our association. In Uzbekistan, we have only one pharmaceutical institute so far, so we represent students nationally. The aim of the organization is to raise the level of pharmacy students' knowledge to the world standards so they can improve their practical knowledge and to become qualified professionals. The objectives of the associations are to help students gain theoretical and practical knowledge, to educate students about healthcare issues, and encourage them to actively participate addressing those problems, to connect students with international pharmacy students community to broaden their horizon, to raise awareness of pharmacy's role in healthcare system. This is our organization chart. Project and activities. From the beginning of the year, we conducted several promote, and this one, official opening ceremony in Uzbekistan, was intended for a bigger audience and was made in collaboration with Uzbekistan Medical Students Association Phenomenon, and it was held in October 2019. And the aim of the event was to introduce UCPSA to the medical and pharmaceutical institutions officials and the general public, as well as to promote IPSF to students. The event was planned and organized in collaboration with UZMCA Phenomenon. More than 40 students attended the event, and more people were reached through the TV report, as we also invited TV reporters from our national TV. Next, our project was Pill Squad Lecture Series. This had a long run. It was from October to March 2019. The aim of the project is two-sided independent learning. Every session, one member gives a presentation to other members on a topic that they find important and interesting. While participants learn something new from lectures, the lecturer gains more knowledge on the topic deals. Each session reached 10 to 20 students. Next, industrial visit. We conducted industrial visit to 7 factories in Tashkent city, and this project was held from November to February. And this project aims industrial pharmacy students to get insight from the production side and process. The target audience was first and second year students. Once in 2 weeks, students visited different companies in Tashkent. Pharmaceutical Institute administration helped to reach those companies to organize visit there. Officials of the industry explained to students about the organization of the factory manufacturing process. The project reached in total of 50 students. Annual conference of pharmaceutical students. Actually, this was intended to be offline project, and this was a project that most our students was looking forward to, but unfortunately due to COVID-19, we moved to online platform. The aim of the conference was to make our members to be involved in scientific research. Moreover, it gives a great opportunity for members to do research and find new pharmacological impacts of medical raw materials. And for upcoming projects, we are planning Career Week for the World Pharmacist Day. In September, this project aims to present to students diverse pharmaceutical professions and career opportunities in this field. We are planning to organize informational sessions about the topic, meetings with professionals from different fields, and visit to workplaces. This mandate, we successfully conducted several projects that were received well by students of our members with global campaigns and held by IPSF and APRO, and welcomed new passionate students to our team. This year, we learned a lot observing IPSF, APRO, and other member organizations' activities, and planned a number of similar projects for further. Activity reports were sent 7. For challenges, reaching out to students was some challenging, and engaging them to our as well as projects of IPSF and APRO was a bit difficult. And for another challenge, global pandemic completely changed our plans for most of the projects, but some of them were shifted to online campaigns and some of them were postponed. And other, at first, it was difficult to keep up with APRO and IPSF. As you know, APRO is very active and have a lot of going on always. So it was a bit hard to keep up with at first. And finally, I would like to thank IPSF APRO RWG for guiding us throughout the mandate.
Okay, thank you, Nagisa, for your presentation. So now I open the floor for discussion. If you have any comments, any questions, please feel free to show your number card. Okay, so now we have one comment from PPHSF Pakistan.
Thank you, Uzbekistan, for your amazing presentation. So I have this question from the Pill Squad lecture series you mentioned. You said that the members had given presentations to each other on certain topics. So was this activity actually based on a certain academic preparation, for example, your tests or exams? Thank you.
Thank you. Nagisa, you can try to reply to the question from PPHSF Pakistan in 1 minute.
Thank you, Curricle et al. We had this meeting for our members and they dropped their ideas and actually we tried to do themes that were not included in our academic curriculum, such as antibiotic resistance. There were themes about self-prescription and such themes. We had restrictions or criteria for the themes, and our project managers selected themes for each session. So no, it's not related to academic curricula.
Okay, thank you. So now we have another comment from VNU-HCMPO Vietnam, followed by UI Indonesia.
Hi, Nagita, Clara from VNU-PO. I just have one question because you also being a member of APRO in this mandate, the same as VNU-PO. I just want to ask if you meet any challenges when you try to promote IPSF activities to your members, and how can you overcome those challenges? Thank you.
Thank you. Nagisa, please.
Thank you for your question, Clara. Yes, there were a lot of challenges for engaging our students for IPSF and APRO projects because the main challenge was language barrier because all of the federation activities are in English, and English is not our first or second language in Uzbekistan, but we tried to translate as much as possible to our members. And we conducted several promotional campaigns for smaller groups. We tried to find free time of students looking at their timetable, and we showed our presentations for each election group. Especially, we try to engage with first and second year students, and also we also promoted IPSF and our organization through our social media in Instagram. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now proceed to VEMFFUI Indonesia.
All right, thanks, Mike. So this is Elsa from UI. Thank you, Nargiza, for the great presentation. So I have a question. For the industrial visit, do you visit the industry regularly every 2 weeks for a whole term, or only for a certain period of time? For example, only for 1 month. And also, did you change the industry that you visit every 2 weeks? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, Nagisa, please.
Thank you, Salsa, for your question. We tried to do it once in 2 weeks, but sometimes it was once in 3 weeks. There could be changes. Overall, we visited 7 industries. I think I answered your question.
Okay, thank you. So I think none in the speaking list. So I will close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So congratulations to UCPSA, and thank you for the presentation. And now we'll proceed to the next motion, motion 51. This is the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assemblies accept and adapt the annual report of the contact person of TDT-UPO Vietnam for 2019 to 20. So may I have the representative from TDT-UPO? Yes, Kate, you will have 8 minutes to present your annual report.
Hi everyone, can you see my screen?
Yes, and probably you need to speak louder because your voice is a little bit slow. Sorry, small.
So now can you hear my voice?
Yes.
So I will start my presentation. So first of all, hello everybody. I'm Kate and I'm the current contact person and president from TDT-UPO Vietnam. First of all, TDT-UPO Vietnam stands for Tôn Thắng University Pharmacy Organization, and now we are the member in association of IPSF APRO. After 1 year established, TDT-UPO has conducted 276 members. Most of them are undergraduate students from the first to 5th years. We also have pharmacists and research as our lecturers and TDTU members. So TDTU aims for create a network of pharmaceutical students and international students around the world by conference and workshops. Furthermore, we want to give a better chance for students to dig deeper into the international market and international research. So here's our organization chart. We divided our executive team into 3 departments. The first one is academic department, public health department, and media department. Each department has one officer department. We have most of them now are working in the APRO committee for the student exchange program. We haven't had the exactly numbers of committee team because that is the work of all the organization. So for our activities and projects, first of all, I will go through the project from October 2019 until now. Before the COVID-19, we have organized many academic and skill events. We have also promoted the APRO campaign like APRO Bid AMR video campaign or APRO Pilot Effect. Also, most of the events we are organized in both online and offline. For online and campaign and offline and academic meetings. Here is some photos. In the left of the screen is some video campaign, and for the right is some meetings in our library. Next, during the COVID-19 impact, we have affected a lot. Like we have almost 3 months staying at home. So for social distance, so some offline events are canceled or replaced by another. So here is the project that we have organized during the COVID-19. I'm glad to share with you that TDTU has started to our work during the social distancing. First is the certification of appreciation from UICC, Union for International Cancer Control. And the second is the second prize of APRO video competition and tuberculosis. We have held 2 projects. We also have held 2 projects that related to COVID-19. Is how much you know about COVID-19 quiz and the 30-day challenge Get Away Corona. In fact, that the online campaign during COVID-19 have got a huge number of participants. So this year we have organized 3 big events. All of them are in late 2019, like before COVID-19. The first big event is the Ring the Golden Bell competition. We have got a lot of participants in this event, and I'm proud to share with you that this is the first event that brings TDTU out and introduced to other faculties of pharmacy. So the second event is Antimicrobe Resistance and Optimization Conference. This is the event that is the collaboration between Center of Reviews and our faculty. This is the biggest event in this month of our faculty because this is the collaboration of my university and another university in Sweden. We have 80 attendees, although we haven't reached the target for 100 participants. but it is quite a great concern. Last but not least, this is our first time to make a collaboration with another association from IPSF. In this project, we collab with VNU-HCMPO Vietnam, and I'm so glad to share with you that this project might make CDT UPO more mature and learn a lot. I'm glad and thank you, Clara and her team, for helping us. So we have a lot of upcoming events, and we are doing to celebrate the World Pharmacist Day, Cancer Tracer, and World Antibiotic is our big event in next year. Also, we want to do the charity of the cancer in the late December this year. So about the student exchange program. Honestly, we haven't organized any summer camp or exchange program before, and we plan to organize it in this year, but unfortunately, COVID-19 affects us a lot. So we delayed the summer camp into the next year. We haven't had the exactly time and date. However, the main topic of the lecture is natural compound, and teachers will be organized by our Dean, Professor Nguyễn Minh Đức and Dr. Nguyễn Trường Huy, with the number of international students is 50 and 25 national students. We have submitted for 6 activities report, and in this week we will try to submit on the other report. At last, our Facebook fan page has reached over 1 million followers, and we also receive good feedback and comments from teachers and students. We have planned for many big events in the future. So we will try to have more.
Sorry, Kat, I need to mute you because it's already 8 minutes. So now I would like to open the floor for discussion. If you have any question, any comments, please feel free to show your number card. Okay, so we have one comment from UI Indonesia.
All right, thanks, Mike. So this is Elsa from UI. So thank you, Kate, for the amazing presentation. So I have questions. How do you choose the members that can participate in the 2PO collab training? Did they select it, or every member could join? And was there any limit number from the 2 association that can join? Thank you very much, Kate.
Sorry, Salsa, you can only ask one question.
Oh yeah, sure. So how did you choose the members that can participate in the 2PO collab training? Thank you.
So hi, thank you for your question. So at first we will organize, we will invite our members who is a pharmaceutical student in the early of the semester by a test, and also we have a date to interview them, and if we found that if they are really interesting in our association, so we will let them to be our first members, and after one semester, if they did well, they will become the real members. All my answers have reached your question.
Okay, thank you. So now we have another comment from PPHSF Pakistan.
Nirmal Malik from PPHSF Pakistan. So thank you so much for your presentation, first of all. About the activity, you mentioned 2PO Here We Go camp. So there were two IPSF associations from Vietnam in this activities who collaborated. So what were the outcomes in the long run of this project?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
My question for you is that what were the outcomes of this activity in the long run?
So Kate, is like, did you have any specific plan to like a long-term plan to collaborate together with VNU?
Yeah, thank you, Mike, for helping me. So we have planned for 2 months before we organize. It is quite difficult for connect to each other. However, VNUPO is really active, so we haven't had too many difficult in trying and planning for the event. We also receive the help from our faculty in finance, and also we have divided um, our camp in 4 teams. So each team will take the responsible for um, the specific aspect of the 2BO Helio camp. So it is quite really nice to have them, and I in my thought that um, each team has did their work well, so our 2BO can receive the better and the good quality, both for the seminars and both for the outdoor activities.
Okay, thank you. So now we have another comment from Unpad, Indonesia.
Okay, thank you. It's me, Mariam from Unpad, Indonesia. It's such a nice presentation. I just, interesting with Ring the Golden Bell project. I just want to know how can the participants reach more than 1,000 people? Uh, what did you guys do? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. For ring the golden bell. So we, first of all, I think this is the time for organize a project because we choose ring the golden bell is the biggest project of our association in the semester 1. So we choose the time after the exam. So it is quite the really free time of the students. So they interest to take it. The second is we promote our competition on the Facebook and Instagram. We also ask other associations like other clubs in our university to share and to share with their members about our competition. We also give them the awards that are.
Sorry, Kat, I need to mute you because it's already 1 minute. So thank you for your effort and also your time. So I think no more comments on the speaking list. So I will proceed. I will close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So now, for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So now we'll proceed to the next motion. Motion 52. This the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adapts the annual report of the Chairperson of VNU-HCMPO Vietnam for 2019 to 20. So may I have the representative from VNU?
Yes, I will be the representative. Can you see my screen yet?
Yes, Clara.
Okay. Wait me a minute. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Clara from VNU-HCMPO Vietnam, and I would like to represent our organization to present annual report to Regional Assembly. The first thing, I want to introduce my organization, our full name is Vietnam National University Pharmacy Organization of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. We officially became a member in the Association of IPSFs on 8th March in the 65th World Congress of IPSF. And we represented for 202 24 pharmacy students of School of Medicine of Vietnam National University. So this is the whole structure of our organization. It was that like it already changed compared to our proposal before because some policy issues, and you can see that we have like 3 coordinators from IR, academic, and branding. Our aim is to provide global health knowledge, opportunities, necessary skills for our members, build an open environment to exchange knowledge, experiences, and ideas, and also accompany with our member in our student life. Our vision is to provide high quality, confident, and intelligent pharmacists to participate in and influence society. Since we are first into IPSF APRO this year, so our strategy for this mandate is to increase the awareness of our members about IPSF APRO, and VNU-HCMPO, and create a close relationship between VNU-HCMPO and our members, and also expand the possible external relationship as much as possible. So we have tried to promote many activities from IPSF to our members, and there will be the involvement of VNU-PO to such activities. The first you can see like face-to-face photo competition we have promoted successfully, and along with the photo competition, we also have some seminar about face-to-face campaign. Now we have some work cancer day with make photo from our members, and which on abroad country research progress, regional policy session, and tuberculosis video competition, and also Let's Go Up campaign. And about the collaboration, it looks big to have TDT UPO next to us because they have IPSF APRO more than us 1 year, and we have a really nice collaboration together when we hold an academic campaign with the topic antimicrobial resistance. And next, we have collaborated with Wasili to host a talk show with the topic sexual harassment, and I protect myself. Along with this talk show, there are a lot of cases about sexual harassment happen in Vietnam. So I think that this topic has successfully convey our knowledge and also raise awareness of our members about these issues. And among other activities of VNU-PO, I would like to introduce 3 main activities that I think these 3 have like the impactful. I also provide the QR code here about the report of our organization following each activity, so you can access it if you want more detail about our activities. So the first one is the mental health broadcast. We call it Stress Garden. It's happened like 3 months from September to December of 2019. Our aim is to promote the benefits of gardening in reducing stress and other psychological problems, and encourage healthy lifestyle basing on science evidence, and raise awareness of protecting environments. So totally we have hosted like 3 applied events, and for each applied event we have 30 to 35 students. And for this ideas about the mental health projects, we have got the prize in the 2nd place in a UN health promotion competition of Vietnam National University. The next activities is a Make a Difference campaign. This is aimed to collaborate the World AIDS Day of 2019 and spread awareness to students and other people about AIDS. And you can see that every participant will draw a picture about the red ribbon and also show their opinions about AIDS and HIV. And we have 30 pictures about this. And finally, with the outbreak of COVID-19 happened all around the world, I think every organization of IPSF APRO had caused something related to this. And for VNU-PO, we have online risk competition, COVID-19, and respiratory infectious disease. So the duration is in the February to March. Our aim is to improve knowledge and awareness of COVID-19 pandemics and distinguish several types of respiratory infectious disease. And we opened this competition not only for our members, but also everyone interested in this. And we had totally nearly 400 students participated in our language competition. And for the upcoming activities, as I mentioned before, due to some politics issues related to our university and also our country, so we have to train the whole structure of our organization. So in the future, from July to September, we will focus on internal training session for upcoming and candidate for executive board and pre-organization assembly to finalize the new mandate programs. And also in the September, the new student will enter our university, so it would be welcome new trend campaign and official introduction party. And you can realize that we have not mentioned about SEP yet, because we also work in project and research about this, and we need to make some surveys to all of our members if they have the interest or not, and then we will continue the SEP application in the future. So the September will be at SEP surveys. So total reports submitted to IPSF APRO is 6, and we have made a lot of difficulty in submitting mandates since VNU-PO also established and allied to IPSF APRO at the same time. So we lack of experiences, especially for some young executive members, and we also be influenced by the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have some challenges with promote IPSF activities to our students and members because we have language barrier as English is not our mother language. And many members from our organization is still shy towards the global and regional platform. I guess that our cultural identities, and we also made some difficulty with the training in the management department. So our evaluation is just so glad to say that we have successfully completed the mandate and observed and learned many things from IPSF APRO and its member that I think would help us a lot in improve the future VNU-PO. And for the recommendation, I would say that IPSF APRO urgently had do their best in this mandate and supply us so much thing despite the impact of COVID-19. But I wish that it would have more interactive activities between our member organizations because from a CP publicity, I just say that maybe just all the CP know each other, but our member would they have less opportunities to communicate with another. Okay, so thank you for your attention. And I want to say that we love IPSF APRO 2000 to all our members. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Clara, for your presentation. And now I open the floor for discussion. If you have any comments, questions, please feel free to show your number card. Okay, so now we have UI Indonesia.
Okay, thank you. Limei from UI Indonesia. First of all, I want to say thank you for the great presentation, Clara. I saw this idea about stress garden in your presentation. I think it's a very interesting one. So can you probably further explain, such as how did you organize or conduct the activity? As in what kind of specific activities did you make a webinar or like workshop to engage the participants? Thank you.
Okay, so generally we have Track Garden in 3 main activities. The first is like media promotion. The second one is our apply activities in the herbal garden of VNU-PO. And the third one, we promote our we give away some plants and tree spots to the staff in the central department. So it's really short time to explain the whole activity. So I would like to send this private to you. And thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you. So now we have another comment from UI Indonesia, followed by PPHS Pakistan.
All right, thank you, Mike. So this is Elsa from UI. Thank you very much, Clara, for your amazing presentation. And you have such a various programs, which are very interesting. So I have a question regarding the stress garden. So you said that you win the program for the second winner, right? So did you include the stress garden to the UN competition, or did the UN acknowledge your program and decided that it should be worth the price? Thank you very much.
Well, I must say that actually the first time the stress garden is not from VNU-PO. It's just a project that I run with my teams, and we participate in a UN health promotion competition, and we luckily to receive a lot of money from this competition to launch our activity in the real life. So basically we have sponsor from this competition to conduct the activities, and we have made a lot of proposal and also the report to the competition, and I think that is worth the money that they pay for us, so that we have the second place at the end. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you. So now we have PPHS Pakistan, followed by UGM Indonesia.
Hello, Nirmal Malik from PPHSF Pakistan. So thank you so much for your presentation, first of all. I have one question for you. One of the mandate strategies you mentioned is increasing the awareness of members about IPSF and IPSF APRO. So how are you working on this mandate strategy?
I could say that I made a lot of challenges because it's sad but true that IPSF is not really popular in my country. And to increase the awareness of my members about IPSF, for every activities from VNU-PO, we always present the slides about IPSF to introduce IPSF again and again to our members. And also we have for each classes, we also had some members from executive board, so they could play a role, right? They introduce and promote IPSF to every classes. So that's our strategy from the beginning. But later I realized that IPSF APRO had organized a lot of activities, online activities. So we try to promote it and get more attention of our members to IPSF APRO. Okay, thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you. So now we have UGN Indonesia, followed by USPS Singapore. Okay, so UGM dropped. So now we have USPS Singapore.
Hi, this is Jared from NUSPS Singapore. Thank you, Clara, for your presentation. So as I know that your association is one of the new association in IPSF, and I appreciate all your effort in trying to promote your association into the IPSF platform. So my question is, can you elaborate a bit further on what's your future plan to promote your students more in IPSF involvement? Thank you.
That's a really tough question that our executive part is also considering much right now. But as you can see that the upcoming activities, we include one activity we call Welcome New Trend campaign. And due to the training department from the IR offices to a student union like Hong Kong before, so we will have a lot of support from that union to promote our organization and also IPSFs. So in the future, because the Welcome New Trend is campaign will be we will have an official party to welcome all of the new generation. So we will have try to introduce IPSF in this campaign. And for the further things, I would like to because they are first year student, I think they would be really active to such kind of activities. But only challenge right now is the language barrier because they're not really confident in the English, and I would like to host some workshop and also some discussion in English for them to be more confident in the future. So that's my plan right now. And thank you. If you have more things to subtracting for me, please text me because I need a lot of solution right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I see no more comments on the speaking list, so I will close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. So for those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so we have 2 for abstain and 7 for for, so the motion passed. So congratulations to VNU-PO, and also congratulations to all the members association. Your report got accepted by the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly. Yay! Okay, so before we proceed to the motion 53, I need to pass the chair to Wendy.
Okay, Wendy RWG. So that's the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the Regional Financial Report for 2019 to 20. So we will have Michael to present his financial report.
Okay, Nafila, please help me share the screen.
So Michael, you have also 8 minutes to present, and when 8 minutes is up, I will mute you.
I don't need to that much time. Okay, Nafila, maybe you need to try to zoom in. Okay, good. So now I would like to present you the financial report for this mandate to the Regional Assembly. So for the income, we have IPSF regional budget every year, like 1,750 euro dollars. And also I propose to have the reserve budget, and it has already approved by the IPSF treasurer as well. So I propose 400 euro dollars. So at the beginning, I've tried to propose this regional reserve budget because in my annual plan, I tried to propose one like new regional event, which is the Public Health Summit, collaborate together with AYPG. And however, due to the COVID-19, we cannot really implement this project. So later on, I will try to explain more how I try to allocate the money from the reserve budget. Okay, carry on. So Nafila, please scroll down. So move to the expense. So in total from the income, we have 2,150 euro dollars. And so for the expense, for adaptive travel, we expect we will have 400 euro dollars for face-to-face meeting and 500 euro dollars for APBS. However, the APBS has already been cancelled, so we only use the money for face-to-face meeting to reimburse the adaptive travel. And for merchandise, as you know, aligned with the RMPO annual report, so we also will have the merchandise this year, like the April new T-shirt, and also the what else? Lanyard. Yeah. So that's for the merchandise. We will have it, and also this year we established 2 grants for the member association, and one for the membership grant, and another is the project grant. And for the membership grant, we give the grant to PPHSF Pakistan this year, and for the project grant, until now, by the deadline, we didn't get any submission from our member association. So sadly, I think we won't really use the money for the project grant. Yeah, like given we have already proposed and also extended the deadline for you. So that's the update for you. And for the Masila, we would have the regional award like the best contact person, best change officer, and best member organization award for our regional office, and the awards will be given to the beneficiaries. So at APBS, however, due to APBS has already been canceled, so we won't really have the actual like the award trophies for them as well. So instead, we will just give the the winners with the certificates only this year. So we also won't really have the budget used for the award trophies. And also this year we also will have the we actually like we plan to have actual hackathon at APBS. So we try to propose allocate the budget for APBS hackathon like $200. And however, due to COVID-19, we also won't really use this budget as well. So for the miscellaneous, we won't use any money for it. And like I have already said at the beginning, I propose from the IPSF Treasury that we would like to use $400 from the reserve budget for Public Health Summit. However, due to COVID-19, we cannot really implement it with AYPG. So this budget also will not be used for this year. So we try to repropose the purpose for the money because we are still like have a lot of the money left. So aligned with to our April focus project change for SDGs, we try to propose a prize to given the winner team like $200. So that's another we propose in this expense. So I think that's all for the financial report for this year. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michael, for the presentation now. So if anyone has any comments, please give me an eye. Okay, so direct comment from MAPS India.
Thank you. So Mike, I just had one question regarding the financial report. So will the amount that that APRO hasn't spent this mandate due to COVID-19 be added into the reserves for the next year?
Yes.
Thank you.
So it will be go back to IPSF, and probably it will be go back to the reserve budget for the region, our region. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have any more comments? All right, I see no more comments, so I'll now close the floor for discussion and proceed to voting. For those who vote against the motion, please raise your voting cards now. Okay, and for those who vote for the motion, please raise your voting cards. Okay, motion passed unanimously. Okay, and then we will now move on to the next motion. So this, the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the report for the regional, hold on. I think there may be, Michael, I think your screen.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so this is the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the report of the budget proposal for 2020 to 2021. So I'll now give the floor for Michael for the presentation.
Nafila. Okay, great. Maybe zoom in as well. So just try to be short for this regional budget proposal, here at the regional assembly, we would like to get agreement from the regional assembly, especially the official delegate, because this money will be proposed to be used for the next mandate. So even though the regional assembly, you have already approved this regional budget proposal for the next year, I mean the next team, they still will try to draft their regional budget plan for next mandate, and that budget plan still need to be approved by the treasurer next mandate. So that's the procedure for us to like carry out the budget plan. Just let you know. So here I didn't really change a lot for the budget proposal. Basically, it's totally the same with the beginning, the mandate. Like I try to propose to like IPSF treasurer that we will have something like in the beginning of the mandate. So here for the income, like as I already said, every year we will have the regional budget from IPSF like 1,750, and for the regional reserve budget, I didn't propose here because I'm not really sure for the next team if they will have anything they would like to use and any project they would like to like allocate the reserve budget. So I will just leave the decision to the next team. If they would like to propose any like purpose from the reserve budget, they can just directly propose to the IPS treasurer for next year. Okay, move to the expense. So here I also put the IWG travel here, and they can try to be specific, like what kind of the travel they will be include in this IWG travel. For example, probably the IWG travel will be include like APBS face-to-face, APBS, or any external meeting. Like we probably will have the WHO regional committee meetings for Western Pacific Regional Office or Southeast Asia Pacific Regional Office. Yeah, so that's for the IWG travels. And for the grants, I also put the membership grants here and also the project grant here in case that next year the team like to also create and establish the grants, the opportunity for our member associations. And the merchandise, because this year we will try to set up the pre-order system. So probably we won't really leave a lot of the number of the merchandise to the next mandate. So maybe they also like to try to renew their branding and have new merchandise for next year. So I also propose the amount for the merchandise here as well. And for the miscellaneous, for like the charm face, we will have the regional awards for the contact person, student change officer, and also the member organization. And the others, I'm not really sure, maybe any project, like maybe they like to come up more like impactful and more big project for our region. They can try to have this money for any purpose in regards to the project. So I think that's all for this proposal for next year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michael, for the presentation. So if you have any comments, please give me an eye. I see no, hold on. So comment from Maps India.
Thank you. Mike, I would like to ask whether we would be able to take the remaining of the budget from this year and add it straight to our next year's budget instead of sending it to the reserves, if that would be a possibility.
So the budget for this mandate and next mandate should be separated. So we cannot really say, oh, we would like to move the money, I mean the budget for this year to next year. We cannot really do that. Yeah.
Okay, comment from FOP Nepal.
This is Sabita Ramal from FOP Nepal. So I would like to ask, will that budget didn't include the RWG travel for GPPD Nepal? And then can the budget, reserve budget, come to the APPS and GPPD for 2021? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question from Nepal, FOP Nepal. So, as I have already mentioned, I just put the IWG troubles there. I didn't really specific list like any specific trouble they will try to allocate the money for the IWG trouble. So for the next team, they can try to design like any trouble they would like.
Sorry, Michael, I think there's a technical. Michael? Michael, you still there? Okay, so I think Michael is experiencing some technical issues at the moment. I will bring him back into the room again.
Ooh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Michael,
Can you hear
want
me
to
now?
answer? Yeah. Do you want to answer the question?
Okay, sorry. So sorry for the connection issue. So regarding the question, so I have already said that I didn't really specify the travel the IWG need to go. They need to get the reimbursed. So it's really depends on the next year, and also next year the travel the IWG like to go. Probably the IWG travel will be covered like APPS face-to-face, APBS, or even GPPD or any external meetings. So it really depends on the next team, like how they allocate the money and how many travel they will go and how many members of the IWG they will try to travel. So it really depends on the next year. I don't really like to like be really restrict to the next year team. So they will be have more flexible budget here to allocate. Yeah, I hope that explain to your concern. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michael. So does anyone have any more new comments? Okay, I see no new comments. So I'll now close the floor for discussion and move to the voting. So for those who vote against the motion, please raise your voting cards now. Okay, and those who vote for the motion, please raise your voting cards now. Okay, motion passed unanimously. So I will now pass the chair back to Michael.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. Thank you, everyone. So let's move to the next motion. Motion 55 is the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the update report of the 20th IPSF Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium. So may I have the representative from APBS 2021?
Hello, it's me.
Yeah, okay. William, you can try to share your screen.
Yeah, I think I'll need Iron's help sharing screen.
Okay. You also have 8 minutes, okay?
Yep.
So when 3 minutes left, I will try to remind you in the chat box.
Can you guys see my screen already?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Just like make it big. All right.
It's Google, not presentation. Oh, sorry, that's your presentation. Okay, you can start.
Amen. All right, so thank you. Thank you for that cute introduction, Iron. All right, so next. Hi, everybody. I'll be presenting our updates on our work so far in APPS 2021 in Manila. So I'll be honest, it's been quite tough, but we're happy to be here presenting to you right now. So to everyone I've already met, nice to see you again. To everyone I haven't met yet, nice to meet you. All right, so I'll introduce myself first. So hi, I'm William Bohayo. I'll be this year's budget Pishang. But to be fair, I'm the Secretary for External Affairs for UPPSHA and the 20th APBS Chairperson. All right, next. All right, so UPPSHA, let me tell you a little bit about us. So we joined IPSF a few years ago, and this is going to be actually our first IPSF event going to be in the Philippines. So of course, while we're definitely bummed that this is all happening right now, there's still a little bit of excitement in us that we have the opportunity to bring something completely unique to the table. All right, next. All right, so this is our theme, Ideals to Reality, the versatility of the Asia Pacific pharmacist. So we really wanted to capitalize and explore the niche areas of pharmacy, so areas that not many students might know about or know how to handle. Next. We have 4 sub-tracks. So we have pharmacist and advocacy, education sessions, professional development, and digital pharmacy. So participants will be able to mix and match between these 4 categories in these workshops, kind of like choosing classes. All right, next. All right, I'd like you to meet our team. So you've already met me. We have Joyce here, who's also the CP of FJCPPHA, Shannon, who's the scrutineer today, Nicole, and next. Iron, who's made this lovely presentation, Bea, Francis, Veronica, and Angel. So this is my lovely team, and these are the lovely people who'll be working with your associations this mandate, and we're very excited. Right. So for our committee structure, so on consultation with the RWG, this is the structure we've decided. So we have teams under the executive board. So important to note here that we've put LIT under the social program head to lighten the load of the ACAD program head, but the two will of course still coordinate. Next. All right, so this is the meat of our presentation today. So the general project timeline. Our timeline, to be honest, has completely changed and we've had to scrap a bunch of work, but as of today, this is the timeline we're following. So from August to December, here we have the team recruitment, team orientation, scouting for sponsors and speakers, website release, the finalizing of the event details, securing the sponsorship, and the merchandise designing on December. And then we have a decision point, which we'll come back to later. Then we have our phase 1 to 3 in January to March. And then April, we have our LIT registration, as well as the end of merchandise production and another decision point. And then we have our final preparations in May to June. So of course, I haven't mentioned the big elephant in the room, which is of course COVID. So an important point here is that all throughout, so every month you see here in this project timeline, we'll be releasing monthly reports to keep you in the loop of the COVID situation in the Philippines. So we're talking about statistics, travel restrictions, local health protocols, etc. So of course, while we absolutely want you, our participants, to have a really fun time and enjoyable time, we want to keep you safe. So these documents will come in handy for our decision points in blue. So highlighted in blue, we have our decision points. So these are decisions when we decide whether or not to proceed with a physical APPS. So we're preparing our programs right now in such a way that at any of these 2 decision points, if we make the decision that a physical APPS is not viable, we'll be able to shift quickly into an online format APPS. So right now, I might not be able to promise you a traditional physical APPS at this time, but I can promise you that we're working very hard to ensure that our participants will be safe and that will maintain the experience that is APPS. All right, next. All right, we have our registration fee. So this takes into account already the equipment we'll be using. So this includes PPE. Oh, sorry. The participant statistics. So assuming physical APPS, we have allotted 400 slots. Next. All right, tentative dates. So these are the dates we've planned, although again, this is subject to change given that this is based off of old data and academic calendars have changed and will change in the future. So next. All right, registration fee. So these prices already take into account the equipment we'll be using. So including provided PPE like masks, disinfectants, and thermal equipment we'll be using to monitor our participants. Next. All right, so this is our schedule for assuming physical APPS, although we haven't prepared one for online APPS as of yet. Next. All right, so we've actually been making an app to help replace the participant booklet and avoid paper waste before, but we've also decided to run our health tracker through it as well. So the way we envision it is that each morning, each participant has to fill out a tracker, a simple symptom check to ensure safety. Next. Actually, you can test the app right now on your phone. So someone from my team will send the link, please. Thanks. And next, this is actually what it will look like. There you go. So schedule, the app, and then chat, and then next. So accommodation, this is also a big decision point for us, but again, tentative. So we want to eliminate as much travel as we can to reduce risk. So keeping all of our events inside one venue is our solution. So we're looking at other accommodation options right now in the COVID, based on their COVID protocols, but for now we're sticking with Hotel Gen. So next, we've consulted them and they said that they can handle our numbers even with physical distancing protocols in place. Okay, we have a PST in Oslo, Cebu. So these have the same considerations for vetting of the venues as everything before. So it's a 2-day, 3-night excursion in Castle Peak Hotel, a 4-star hotel, and with our partner, Ceres Busliner. Right, next. These are our potential sponsors. So these are industry sponsors. So Sanofi, Unilab, Swipe RX, Pfizer, MIMS, and our professional organization, the PPHA. Next. All right, and then these are our non-industry sponsors. So food, telecom, media, and tech sponsors. All right. And we've also prepared a short video for you guys to enjoy. So, all right, if we can play that.
So the video will also be include your presentation time.
Yep.
Wendy, I think the audio can be shared. Can I test that?
Sorry, I couldn't hear
Can
you.
you
What
guys?
did you...
Oh.
Oh, okay. All right, so I think we're having some technical difficulties, but in the meantime, you can follow us on Facebook and also on Instagram, as you can see on the screen right now, but I hope we can show you guys our lovely video that we made. Yeah.
Wendy, I think the audio can't be shared.
You can't. Let me see.
Because I think it's already like 20 seconds left. So I think you can try to attach the link to your video in the chat box. So all the ODs can try to go to the video, and like during the break time, we also can try to play the video for you. No worries.
Right,
I think will help you do the promotion. Okay, so now I open the floor for discussion. If you have any question, any comments, feel free to show your voting card.
Right, thanks everybody.
Oh, sorry, show your number card, not voting card.
Oh, thanks, Ella. Yeah, we'll send the video. Oh, we're so sad. I wish you guys could have seen it, but it's okay.
We'll show the video later on. So we have one comment from PPSF Pakistan.
Malik here from PPSF Pakistan. Thank you, Williams, for the amazing presentation. All the things were really fascinating, and I'm really getting motivated to attend APBS 2021. I'm really excited about the official app you mentioned about. So I have one question. If in case of any emergency, if the schedule gets changed, will you be able to update the app on time?
Hi, okay, yeah. So actually, this is one of the considerations we did when we decided to do an app. So because, well, we might have to change schedules and we might change venues on the fly, we want to be able to update that really quickly. With a participant physical booklet, we can't do that. So if we have the app, of course, we can just push an update and then let you know in the chat that, oh, the venue for this particular session has changed, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, thank you. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. So now we have IUSPS Singapore, followed by my PSA Malaysia.
First and foremost, thank you so much, William, for that rousing presentation from the Philippines. In fact, I think everyone here is Philippining for your. Now, my question is actually regarding the hypothetical situation if, for example, the Philippines does go ahead with an online APBS. The biggest issue that I see for the events to be taken online, well, first and foremost will be the social events. And second would actually be the format of, let's say, the workshops, the webinars, and so. because not everything is transferable online. For example, the excursions, and to make online learning actually viable, there are a lot of changes that need to be tweaked. Can I hear more on what the team actually envisions for the online APPS? Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rustam, for bringing that up. Actually, really important point. That's also one thing that we really want to consider. It's that APPS, as we know it, it's not totally completely just the academic events, right? It's essentially also a big social event where you can meet people and meet the people you've been working with for a year, your mandate. So we don't want our online APPS to become some sort of like basic online workshop. We want it to be fun, and we're already thinking of right now some social events that we can do online. So just to keep it fun and, like you said, incorporate the kind of fun aspect of the experience of APPS. So we do have some ideas right now, but I don't want to spoil it just yet.
Okay, thank you. So now we have my PSA Malaysia followed by NAPSA Australia.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. I withdraw my comment.
Okay, thank you. So now we have NAPSA Australia.
Hello, Ella from NAPSA. So I just had a quick question. Sorry if you've already mentioned this. So are you happy for us to start sharing? I know that it's tentative whether it's online or actually physically going ahead, but are you happy for us to start sharing all of those like teaser videos and all of that social media now, or would you like us to wait?
Oh yeah, no problem, of course. You can share it right away. Actually, we released it like a few weeks ago. It was supposed to be a surprise for RA, but the RWG found it and they kind of spoiled the surprise. But yeah, of course, please. We would love it if you could share our promotional material.
Okay, so I have one direct, so I pass the chair to Wendy first.
Okay, when direct comment from Michael.
Okay, Michael RWG. So regarding the promotion, because Beyond Health Hack, they will have their the virtual Beyond Health Hack on 7th and 8th of August. So probably the promotion can start after that. So this action won't really affect the Beyond Health Hack, because Beyond Health Hack we also consider is like the virtual APPS we have. So I hope that we finish Beyond Health Hack first, then we proceed to the motion for next APPS. Probably that will be better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michael. I now pass the chair back to Michael.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. So now new comment from PSA Taiwan.
Chair PSA Taiwan. So I would like to ask William, because you mentioned the app and how it's quicker and more efficient if there are any changes in its schedule. I would like to ask how the internet connectivity in the Philippines at the venue and also at the accommodations is, and if you have any plans to overcome technical difficulties in that aspect. Thank you.
All right, so thank you. Actually, the internet connection in Hotel Jen is pretty stable, so we've oculated it a few times, and I see no problem happening with the online connection issues in that regard. Although, of course, we'll come with how do I say this? We'll come up with a backup plan just in case that ever happens. But for now, we don't think it's going to be much of an issue.
Okay, thank you. So now we have observer. I think it's Brian, HOM.
Hi. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna. Can you guys hear me? I haven't been on meetings for a while.
Hi, Brian.
Is my camera even on? I don't even know how I'm doing it on the phone. But how well it sounds really good with the plan. It's actually really exciting to hear Philippines doing it. Sorry, guys. I'm Brian. I'm one of the HLM. I'm just helping out with the motion committee today. For me, when I hear this, it's more just because with the experience of organizing APPS, I'm more always come to the practical way. It is a question for Will and your team to think about, especially what's going on now with all the COVID. Things can happen so rapidly changing, you guys might want to make sure things are quite flexible. I'm more talking about financial wise. If you book a hotel, suddenly something like this happen again, it can happen in 2 weeks. You need to able to have like a second plan, or what happened if you pay deposit and things like that. It's just something I'll really like to emphasize. I don't want to put you guys into a position that turn out people can't come and then you still have to pay for hotels, and that's just something you got to be really careful with. And I'm sure this year's LWG and with Singapore, and they probably have a few insights on that. So I just want to make sure I just cannot stress more on that point when you're hosting an APPS. That's all I want to say. But it looks really good, and it makes me actually want to come again, but we'll see.
Okay, thank you, Brian. So I think it's thumbs up for the open discussion. So now I'd like to close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so for those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So congratulations to APBS 2021 team. So look forward to next year APPS. Okay, so I know that it's already 2 hours for this session. However, we only have this report left. It's for the GPPD. So I hope we can have this report done before we go to the break. So I will just proceed to this motion. Okay, so let's proceed to the motion 56. This is the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accept and adapts the update report of the 6th IPSF Asia Pacific Good Pharmacy Practice Education Program. So may I have the representative from GPPD team? Sabita or Ritio? Can you try to share your screen? Okay, good.
Can you see my screen?
So you also have 8 minutes to present your annual report. Yes, we can see. And I will try to remind you in the chat box once like 3 minutes left, and I will directly mute you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So may I start?
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Namaste. It's me, Savita Rimal, coordinator of the 6th APRO Good Pharmacy Practice Education Program, which will be hosted by FOP here in Nepal. Today, I'm here to update you all on the preparation of 6th APRO GPED and to propose a date for its postponement. Here I begin. 6th APRO GPED will be organized with the theme Implementation of Good Pharmacy Practice Foundation for Better Health. The main objective of the event is to promote and improve good pharmacy practice, providing training and developing leaders, along with establishing guidelines for good pharmacy practice so that a consistency is established not just across a country or a region, but globally. Moving on, this is our organizational team structure, and these are our team members. Moving on with the venue, 6th APRO GPED will be held at Kathmandu University, located in a mountainous landscape of Sulekhl municipality, which is at about 30 kilometers southeast from the Kathmandu, capital of Nepal. Talking about the Kathmandu University, within the span of 25 years, it has established a track record of academic excellence, along with building infrastructures. At present, it provides undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate degrees on various programs ranging from science and technology to environment and music from its 7 schools. Moving on with the schedule, originally the announced date for the event was 22-23 September 2020, but sadly due to COVID, we are postponing the event, and today we are proposing the date of postponement of 5th to 8th September, keeping our fingers crossed. So the reasons for the postponement to that date is as presented. September academic schedules are a bit loose here rather than the February semester. In terms of climate, September is one of the best months to be here in Nepal. Every home has their own celebration with the indelible culture and tradition, as it is one of the best and festive season here in Nepal. Talking about economy, the potential sponsors of our has been affected with the economy because of the lockdown led by pandemic. And as the lockdown is being eased here for the economic activity, we hope economy will be restored by next 4 to 5 months, increasing our probability to have sponsors. The next is people are getting adapted to the new normals in order to have their daily life activities, and hope soon they will be normalized to traveling. And more than that, the national and international guideline regarding traveling will be eased, assuring us to call for the participants and for them to visit here. So we have decided to postpone the event to 5th to 8th September, still fingers crossed. Moving on, the event will be a total of 5 days, the main event being of 3 days and post-event tour being of 2 days. Symposium sessions of the main event will be held inside the Saviraman Auditorium of Kathmandu University, where professional speakers will share their knowledge, ideas, and experience on GPP-related matter, being based on the theme. Moving on, we'll have workshops. Total of the participants will be divided into 2 groups for the workshops, and they will be having a part in all these 3 workshops. Let's review what's in there. Dose adjustment and renal and hepatic impairment, where the participants will be learning the basic theories for the patient selection of doses adjustment, and then learning to determine the requirement of dose using arbitrary values and patient information. Moving on is review of medication error, where they will be reviewing the medication errors, concept of medication error, reviewing the prevalences of medication error at various stages of patient counseling, and then solving the case enlightened by medication error in the prescription. The next is pharmacovigilance, where they will be learning to prepare pharmacovigilance report to pharmacovigilance center, along with understanding the concept of pharmacovigilance. Moving on is document resource. So this is aimed to give an idea of GPP scenario to all the participants about the GPP scenario in APRO countries. So so that the participants can better understand what and where the problem is and act for the solution. So the video presented here will be given by the all APRO member countries, and for this, organizing team will be providing them a sample video. Moving on, in order to make participants able to understand good pharmacy practices here in Nepal, they will be having few field trips. The first one being to Dhulikhel Hospital, teaching hospital of Kathmandu University, established in 1996, where they will be learning the various functioning patterns, its various departments, and outreach center of the hospital. The next will be Hospital and Rehabilitation Center for Disabled Children, which is the one and only program of Friends of Disabled, working for the assurance of rights of mobility and functional independence of the physically challenged children. Here, participants will be learning the ways to respond to the spatial need of spatially abled people and children. The next they will be visiting is pharmaceutical industry and community pharmacy setup here in Nepal. Being within the territory, they will be observing the manufacturing practices and dispensing practices. Apart from understanding the good pharmacy practices here, they will be visiting to the nearby tourist destination, and then being with the typical Newari community, they will be enjoying the Newari cuisine. Moving on, we'll be having various social nights during the event, as everything comes with the cost. The total estimated budget for the event is 15,887 euros as per the exchange rate presented, and the financing of the event will be done from registration fees and sponsorship amount. Moving on, these are our potential sponsor, and the promotion of the event will be done in 4 phases as presented, and 5 months prior to the event, the promotion will be started. Websites, social media, blog posts, YouTube videos, and mails are our major platform for promotion. Next is food, accommodation, and transport. So every arrangements of the registered participants will be made by the organizing committee, except for the accommodation of the national participants. So moving on with the timeline is, if you have gone through the report presented by us to RA and the slides, there is a slight difference in registration. After the report submission and suggestions from the RWG and discussion with the team, we plan to have a single phase of registration over a period of time so that participants will have a time to prepare the documents for registration and then register for the event. So going with the timeline, on March 1st, we aim to release our website, and by the end of the March, we will be releasing our social media and then releasing a promotional video. And on April 1st, we'll be starting our registration. and ending the registration on July 30. And in between that, we'll have introductory section and social media spotlight post where same information about GPED will be shared from all the APRO social media. Then one can register for PET post-event tour from April to July. August will be for internal preparation and September the event. The last but most exciting and thrilling is post-event tour, where one will be experiencing the culture and natural beauty of Nepal, visiting to famous tourist destinations Pokhara, Kathmandu, Bhaktapur, and Lalitpur. As I said earlier, one has to register separately for the post-event tour. So hoping for the best to you all in Nepal. And lastly, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank RWZ and each and every one of you who helped us in the past days, will be helping us today and tomorrow to make this event a successful event. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Sabita. Thank you for the great presentation. Okay, so now I open the floor for discussion. If you have any question, any comment, feel free to show your number card. Wendy, do we have any question or comments on the floor? Okay, so we have one comment from MPSA Nepal.
That was great presentations, Savita, and I just wished all the best for FOP Nepal. And it's been happening in Nepal. We also feel proud to be associated with it, and all the best for the event. And as you said, finger crossed. Let's hope for the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, I think no more comments from the floor, and I assume everyone is happy with the report. So I close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so for those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so we have 1 for abstain, 8 for 4, so the motion passed. So congratulations to GPPD team, and also look forward to GPPD next year. Okay, so now we have already finished all the reports, so congratulations to everyone, and now we'll move to the break. So we need to have one member organization to propose a break and to suspend a standing order. May I have the proposer? Okay, proposed by Maps India and second by my PSA Malaysia. So now I proceed to the voting. For those who are against, please show the voting card. Okay, so for those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So now we will have 5 minutes break, okay? And in the room, we will also try to share with everyone the APBS 2021, the promotional video.
Wait, Mike.
Oh, sorry.
Roll call.
Okay, sorry. So Wendy, you can start the roll call.
Okay, so if I call your association name, please type a Y into the chat box. So I have NEPSA Australia, MEPS India, ISMA FASI Indonesia, APS Japan, my PSA Malaysia, NSEPSO New Zealand, Canada Republic of Korea, UCPSA PSA Thailand, PSMS HKSU Hong Kong, BMFU UI Indonesia, BIMChem for Unpaid Indonesia, BIMChem for UGM Indonesia, BIMUSD Indonesia, HMF APRTB Indonesia, FA Puni Papo PSA Nepal, PPHSF Pakistan, JPPha Philippines, JPPha Pi Philippines, UPPA Philippines, PSA Taiwan, Taiwan, UCPSA Uzbekistan, TDUPO Vietnam, VNU-HCMPO Vietnam. BMF UI Indonesia, BMCAMFA UNPAD Indonesia, BMCAMFA UGM Indonesia, BMF USD Indonesia, HMFA PRDB Indonesia, FOP Nepal, MPSA Nepal, PPHSF Pakistan, FJFAM Philippines, JPPha Pi Philippines, UPPA Philippines, PSA Taiwan, Taiwan, UCPSA Uzbekistan, TDUPO Vietnam, VNU-HCMPO Vietnam. So we have 9 full members present and 13 MIAs present.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. So, Wendy, do we have a motion on the parliamentary system?
Mike, you need to resume the standing order.
All right, so now I need one member association to resume the standing order. And 1 second, proposed by MAPS India, second by my PSA Malaysia. So now I proceed to the voting. Okay, so for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. Okay, so the motion passed unanimously. So Wendy, please have the motion on the parliamentary system, and I'm sure that you would like to explain the rules of the election first. Okay, so I think we have one new comment from MAPS India.
Thank you, Mike. I would just like to propose a motion to restrict the open discussion period during the election to 10 minutes per session. Thank you.
Okay, 10 minutes for the open discussion for the election. Proposed by MAPS India, second by MAPS Australia. So can I have the motion on the parliamentary system?
Asia Pacific Regional Assembly restricts the time for election open discussion during elections to 10 minutes only.
Okay, so the motion now on the parliamentary system proposed by MAPS India, second by MAPS Australia, says that the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly restricts the time for open discussion during elections to 10 minutes only. So now I open the floor for discussion. Any comments, any questions from the floor? Please show your number card. Okay, we have one new comment from USPS Singapore.
I just want to clarify that this is per candidate, right? It's not for all candidates running for the same position. And that would be my clarification. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, Wendy, RWG.
Okay, Wendy, RWG. So just to go through how the process is for open discussion is that when you are asking questions, you won't be asking each specific candidate questions specifically. So when you are asking questions, you're asking every candidate at the same time. And so what we mean by restricting the 10 minutes is that in total, the answering and also the questioning time will be limited to 10 minutes. Does that help to clarify your question?
Rustam, is that the direct comment or new comment?
I wouldn't say it's a direct comment because I want to bring up something newer as well.
Okay, thank you. So, new comment from USPS Singapore.
Thank you, Mike. So with the clarification from Wendy, I do feel that 10 minutes is a bit too rushed because at the same time, if it's posed to each candidate, it means that if let's say there's 1 minute for each person's reply, that will kind of limit it to 5 questions each, which is not enough, in my opinion, to find out what truly matters, even if it is succinct enough. So I would want to hear what other people think as well. If you could raise it from 10 to 20, I think that would be more comfortable.
Okay, thank you. Any more comments from the floor? Okay, we have one new comment from UI Indonesia.
All right, thanks.
So, oh yeah, you can go first.
So it's actually direct comment. My bad.
You can go first.
Okay. So we agree with Rustam that 10 minutes is really a bit rushed. So if I want to change it to 20 minutes, do I have to raise a new comments or a new motions? Thank you.
So yes, if you like to change the motion, you can try to propose and be specific, then we can get agreement from the original proposer.
Okay. Sorry, Mike. So can I have a direct comment?
So you need to put and follow by the finger rules because we have the direct first from Maps India. So now we have the direct comment from Maps India.
Thank you, Mike. So for the reason, I understand after everyone's comments that 10 minutes seem too short, but 20 minutes would be too long for open discussion. So if the Regional Assembly would be willing, I would like to increase the time up to 15 minutes for the questioning period of the open discussion in the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have direct comment from UI Indonesia.
Okay, so thank you, Mike. So if the others think that 20 minutes is long, then we agree to change it to 15 minutes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Direct from NAPSA Australia.
Hi, I was just going to say NAPSA Australia agrees with Maps India to change it to 15 minutes, but agrees that 20 minutes is too long.
Okay, thank you. And second from USPS Singapore.
Yes,
sorry, direct.
Yeah. Okay, it's more of a direct. So I do believe that we come to a common consensus on that 10 minutes is too short. 15 minutes, I do believe it's a sweet spot. And I think 15 minutes is definitely doable, but we need to provide that every question asked counts. So I'd just like to remind everyone on the floor that make every question worthwhile and only pose pertinent questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we try to change the motion on the parliamentary system again. So this motion proposed by Maps India and second by NAPSA Australia. So says this the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly restricts the time for open discussion during elections to 15 minutes only. So now I open the floor for discussion again. Okay, we have one new comment from PPSHA Pakistan.
Nirmal from PPSA Pakistan. So I think 15 minutes would be adequate because we need to keep this point in mind that both the nominees for the position would be speaking and answering the question. So 15 minutes would be fine.
Okay, thank you. Any more comments from the floor? Okay, so now I will close the discussion. I would like to close the floor for discussion and proceed to the voting. So for those who are for those who are against the motion, please show your voting card. For those who are for the motion, please show your voting card. And meanwhile, can I make sure the nominees for the chairperson are here? If you are here, just put in white in the chat box. Okay, thank you. So the motion passed unanimously. So now we are moved to the next motion. So the motion 57. Wendy, we can already see the motion. Okay, so the motion 58, this the 22nd IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly nominates the following candidates as the chairperson of the IPSF Asia Regional Office for 2020 to 2021. Okay, so before we let the nominees to present, Wendy, do you like to explain the rules of the elections?
Okay, so now I'm not sure if you guys have read it, but there is a procedure with how we will run the election. So I will post the document into the chat box for everyone so you can all go refer to it. So basically, in the beginning, we will have a presentation. Now that presentation will be done in the order of that I have received a nomination form. So basically for the chairperson election, I will be starting with Shidun to be presenting his presentation, followed by Florencia. And so they will have 3 minutes to present their speech. And after 3 minutes of each of their presentations, we will proceed to open discussion. So we finish all the presentations first, and then we'll proceed to open discussion. So for open discussion, remember everybody, you have all signed a code of conduct. Make sure that you should be abiding to the rules of the code of conduct. So that means there should be no bias within the official delegates. That includes RWGs and everyone that is attending the regional assembly. You should not be approaching specific official delegates regarding any voting or any promotion of any specific candidate for the election. Please abide through the rules, and then if I do find out that there is somebody who are breaching the code of conduct, there will be consequences. So make sure that you do abide to the rules. Now, for open discussion, anybody can propose questions. So make sure that you do write in your eye in a timely way. So basically what you'll do is that when you are asking questions, you cannot ask specific questions to a specific candidate. So all questions must be directed to all of the candidates. For example, if this is just an example, if Michael was running for chairperson, then you cannot say, and then if within his manifesto he mentions something like a specific project, you cannot ask about that specific project. You must ask in a general sense. So if there are questions that I find out that people are asking specific questions, your questions will be dropped immediately, and then you'll be put back into the very last of the waiting list for the speaking list. And so the way that the candidates will be answering questions is that they will still be in the order of that I received the nomination form. So the first person for the chairperson elections that will be answering the question will be Shidun, followed by Florencia. And then after the second question, we will rotate around the order. So for the second question, the first answer will be Florencia, followed by Shidun. So that's the way that it will proceed. So one question can only be limited to 1 minute max, and the answer can only be limited to 1 minute max. If you have exceeded that time, we will meet you immediately. So make sure that you ask and answer questions within that time frame. Now, after open discussion is finished, we will proceed to closed discussion. This is where all the nominees, they will be put into a separate breakout room, and all the everybody from the regional assembly will be put into a separate room together. Now, make sure that within the closed discussion, in order to control the fact that we cannot communicate outside of people in this Zoom meeting room, everyone who does not have their cameras on will be kicked out of the Zoom meeting room, regardless of who you are, regardless of if you are the only person, the only official delegate. So make sure when we proceed to open closed discussion, but no, before we even proceed to closed discussion, make sure you have your camera on, otherwise you will be kicked out. And when we proceed into closed discussion, in order to make sure that nobody's contacting anyone else through their devices, your hands must be up in the air like this. Make sure they're both in the air to show that you are not using any devices, or you can simply place them on your chin to show, as long as yours, both hands are within the screen, then it's fine. It doesn't matter however way you place it. If at any time I see somebody's hands is not within the frame, you will be kicked out of the Zoom meeting room as well. The only person that will be permitted to have a second camera is me, who will be monitoring whoever has new comments during closed discussion, and also my scrutineer, Brittany, but we will, because of the fact that we need to monitor, we have a second camera just to show our screen to say that we are not actually contacting anybody outside of the Zoom meeting room in any way. So please make sure, turn on your camera, both hands are in the frame, otherwise you'll be kicked out and you will not be let into the Zoom meeting room until closed discussion is finished. So that's all from me for now. Do I have any questions? No, so I don't see any questions. Now, there's another thing that I forgot to mention. So for voting for full members, prior to voting, you will have 2 minutes in total to discuss amongst your official delegate peers. So you will be put into a separate breakout room. During that time, you have 2 minutes in total to discuss amongst your peers, but also vote. So if you do not vote within that 2-minute frame, that means your vote is spoiled. And also, I have already sent out the voting code to all the #1 official delegates of your association. So make sure that you do submit properly with the spelling onto the the secret ballot doodle. If we discover that the spelling is wrong, or that the same name is used twice to vote, then that vote will be considered spoiled. So make sure that you vote within the time frame, correct spelling, and do not do double ups. So I think that's all from me for now. Now, do I have any questions at the moment? Last questions before we proceed on with the motion. So for those who do not have their cameras on yet, please turn them on, especially you might want to turn them on now, just so before we even proceed to close discussion. So I see no comments, and then I'll pass the floor to Mike.
Okay, thank you, Wendy, for the explanation. And I hope all the official delegates, all the people here, you are all clear the rule for the elections. So now we'll just go back to the motion for the nomination for the chairperson of IPSF APRO 2020-21. Okay, so may I have the nominees? First is Sidun to present you, and I will spotlight you now. Just wait me a bit.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Okay, I think now you are the spotlight. So you have 3 minutes to present yourself. So once you start, I will start to do the timekeeper.
Okay, thank you. So, dear official delegates of the 22nd April Regional Assembly, my name is Si Dun, and I'm from Singapore. I'm currently the IPSF Individual Membership Coordinator, and it's a really great opportunity to be back speaking to the April community again. Today, I stand here before you to present my motivation of running for the chairperson of IPSF April. My involvement in IPSF first started when I participated in APBS 2017. Soon after, I became the contact person for NUSPS and joined the April Regional Secretary Subcommittee about a year ago because I found my passion serving in this IPSF family. Since APPS in 2018, I already had the intention to run for the APRO chairperson role after serving as an official delegate during the regional assembly, because I wanted to continue making APRO a strong advocate for students and graduates in the Asia Pacific region and a role model within the IPSF community. Since then, I have been trying to build my experiences, hopefully to be competent enough for the role as a chairperson, although I have to admit that there are still many areas which I need to work on and improve on. With that being said, I have laid out some plans for APRO. To summarize everything, I want to continue pre-existing initiatives and bring back past projects because I want to focus on ensuring sustainability of the regional office due to the current situation worldwide. For example, such as bringing back the model WHO known as the IMWHO, which was initiated by the previous RPO actually during the previous mandate. And also because there are many student organizations from the Asia Pacific region joining IPSF soon after the General Assembly next month, we will need to proactively orientate and guide them in their work in IPSF in order to motivate them to be active in the federation. And at the same time, continue to search for new members to expand the regional office, as well as engaging the APRO, individual members, and alumni more actively. Furthermore, the entire APRO will have to be flexible and well prepared for any unforeseen circumstances, as we still do not know when the COVID-19 situation will improve in the next 1 year. So that's all for my speech. And for more information, do refer to my nomination form for more information. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sidon, for your speak. And now we'll move to the second nominee, which is for Miss Florencia. So Florencia, I will spotlight you now. Okay, now you are the spotlight. So you also have 3 minutes to present yourself. And I will try to remind you like 1 minute left in the chat box, and I will directly mute you once 3 minutes is time's up. Okay, so the timekeeper will start once you start to talk.
I'm here to bring the change and hope. So I'm asking you all to believe, not only in my ability to be the change, but in yours. I'm Florencia, the second candidate for chairperson. I'm sure that you all have read my nomination form, but today I'm not going to touch about it. I'm going to let you know who your future leader is. I have been on this journey from no one. I was not a contact person nor a CEO. I was lucky because IPSF trusted me to be the LI tier, RO subcommittee, and current RWG that is directly connected as part of internal and external of IPSF Global. I'm lucky because IPSF has been part of my career that makes my routine completely different rather than just reading a textbook. I was involved in IPSF Delegation World Health Assembly to learn IPSF policy and global objectives, WHO regional meetings for 2 consecutive years, to know regional needs, and went to APBS since 2017 and as 3 different roles: participant, reception committee, and RWG. I am who I am today because of IPSF, and I am who I am today because of you. Some people might think it is very easy path for me due to my position as RO, but a little do you know, I work as hard, even can be harder than everyone in the room, to convince you to foresee, not what we could have been, but what will be in the future. I want us to be united, proactive, and collaborative APRO. United APRO with the meaning to grow stronger in global, to have our regional focus, gather members' aspiration, stay connected with our alumni, anyone, anywhere, and embrace the diversity that you can see in my nomination form. We will support each other and leave no one behind. I want to have proactive APRO by providing you interesting initiatives to pursue your future career, to have a revolution and breakthrough, to be stronger in critical thinking, confident speaking, and innovation, and more interregional, inter-association, and interprofessional collaboration. We will be powerful through collaborative APRO because my experience is a good base for strong partnership strategies to make them feel our strength, such as WHO, FIP, and more. My APBS and GPPD team, I know your path will be hard, even harder because of current situation, but I'm not your chairperson unless I make you be confident on your event that we will secure this together and whatever happens will happen and you will have my back. I will not promise you a lot within 3 minutes, but I will prove it with my action. I'm here for hope of difficulty and uncertainty. One of my favorite phrases, it does not matter how far we can go alone, it matters how far we can go together, because this is not IPSF without APRO or APRO without IPSF, this is IPSF APRO. Thank you for listening, I'm open for more questions.
Okay, thank you for the presentation from the second nominees. Okay, so now I open the floor for discussion. If you have any questions to the nominees, please show your number card. Please make sure the question should be general, should not be specific to any nominee. Okay, so now we have one question from KNAP's Republic of Korea.
Hi, this is Christy from KNAPS. So I would like to ask that I have gone through both of your application and it was very great. And the question is, as a part of IPSF Exco and APRO chairperson, I would like to ask, how will you deconflict the participants in both APPS World Congress next year, as those two events are held in both Asia Pacific region? That's all for me. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Christy. So Sudun, you will answer first, then followed by Florencia. And both of you have only 1 minute to answer the question. Once you start to answer, the timekeeper will start.
So let me begin. Thank you for a question. So for both APPS and World Congress, the target group, even though it's quite similar, but it's actually very different, because for World Congress, it targets all members from all the 5 regional officers. And as for EPPS, it only targets APRO, but nevertheless, we'll still see, right, the members from each for APRO would probably be split between 2. So for this conflicting purpose, so it is, so there's not, so we could just actually promote for each event as much as possible, because we also know that there are many participants who actually want to attend both events as well.
Okay, thank you. Now we proceed to Florencia.
Okay, thank you, Christy, for the questions. I think it's something unavoidable that it will be affecting both of events. Actually, there should be a good communication between APPS Manila and World Congress Korea. One of the issues participants may encounter is not only about the conflict of participants, but also finance. So we must sit together to support both events and how to minimize the issues by having the good numbers equally. I will expand our partnership to help to convince our member organization, manage any discounts if possible by collaborating with between APPS and World Congress for members that are coming to both events. And of course, I will also collaborate with Exco in order to further seek to secure our promotion for both stronger APPS Manila and also World Congress Korea. I think these 3 options will be very good for us to strengthen both of our events in Asia Pacific. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we proceed to the question from PPHSF Pakistan.
Nirmal Malik from PPHSF Pakistan. Thank you both of you for your speeches. So I would like to ask that, as the role of chairperson is very much dependent on all the positions in the IWG. So how do you plan to keep coherence and unity among the IWG? Thank you.
Thank you. So this time, Florencia will go first, then followed by Sidun.
Thank you so much, Nirmal, for the question. It's actually a very good question. That's why in my nomination form, I said about regional focus. I also plan to have more one-on-one meetings with each of my RWG. It will be very good for me to also understand what are their opinions and to be respectful to our future initiatives. Besides of that, we need to also maintain our regional monthly meeting. So it will be very good for boosting the transparency among RWG. I think with these kinds of initiatives, it will improve our internal positions and to try to communicate as much as possible. I'm actually a very open person, so I think I will not have any difficulty with the communication among internal, since I know how to motivate my RC and also our WG and how to make them feel convenient in working with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Sidun, it's your turn.
Thank you for the question. So in this case, I will also try to maintain as close communication as possible. Have monthly meeting with all the try to have monthly meeting with all the RWG members, and if meetings are not possible, at least communicate through informal means. And also instead of just focusing on reading RWG, the communication is also very important with all the APRO subcommittee, all the CPs, and therefore this communication has to be maintained also very frequently with everyone else. So the communication must not just be one way, but also two-way direction.
Okay, thank you. So now we proceed to the next comment from my PSA Malaysia.
Okay, thank you, Kishan from my PSA Malaysia. So thank you both for your presentations. As you know, the CPs have a lot of deadlines for APRO projects and events that they have to abide by, and it often clashes with our own associations, projects, academic schedules, and the CPs find it hard to comply to the deadlines. So my question for the both of you is, how will you as chairperson help the associations abide by the deadlines to ensure all projects from both sides progress well? Thank you.
Thank you. So this time, Sidon go first, then followed by Florencia.
Okay, so thank you for your question. So because CP, there are also many deadlines to meet, and therefore that's a reason why we have all the monthly one-to-one meeting, and also we are all the one-to-one meeting with CPs and also member organization, as well as through the informal platform. So from there, we have to gather all the info about what the CPs are doing, so that when it comes to planning all the projects and all the different activities, then we have to take into account all the activities of CP before we plan anything ahead for each month. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Florencia.
Thank you so much for the question, Kishan. So actually, in our RWG itself, in the beginning of the mandate, we need to actually make a surveillance. The surveillance is actually to see what are the events and also projects happening in each of member organization that they are planning from the first year. Besides of that, I also second about the points of biannual one-on-one meetings, because the first one-on-one meeting will be about how we actually tell them about our events to introduce further, and the second biannual one-on-one meetings will be about how they are going to sustain and what are the current updates for the next term. And then of course, the third point is actually we need to keep close contacts, and we need to also help and collaborate with RO in actually emphasizing about pro RWG monthly reminders, as well as that about the calendars. From all of these kinds of options, we actually can help the contact person to ease their works and to make sure that our projects can be aligned or not even overlapping. I think this kinds of way will be the best way as chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we proceed to the next question from Observer. Okay, so Mian, HLM.
Hi, this is, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, hi, this is Mian. 2014, 2015 Chairperson, HLM. So my question is, so thank you both, is just in regards to measurement of your, I suppose, ideas throughout the course of your term. How would you go about evaluating them? What process and strategies do you have, especially given the current situation where there's a lot of ongoing change? How do you ensure that you're on track?
Okay, thank you, Mian. And this time, Florencia will go first, followed by Sidun.
Thank you, Mian, for that. Actually, I'm not going to promise about KPI because at first, I think it's not really like something that is very understanding for IPSF. Therefore, that's why I mentioned about regional focus and try to make sure that each of our WG has something that they would like to achieve. And after that, I would like to also make a every 3 months to also communicate with them. What are the evaluation from the current and what we can bring actually for the next mandate? Those kinds of system that I would like to establish in my RWG. Besides of that, how to make everything feasible within the current situation. I think the communication we try to also do, and some of emergency plans we need to also see for per of our events each month. We need to also talk about it during our monthly meeting. It will help us to actually boost any kinds of transparent communication and prepare earlier for any kinds of things that might happen for our events and projects in the mandate. Thank you.
Thank you. Sidun, please.
Thank you. So for these plans, what I've actually written inside my nomination form were all basically the basic plan, the basic structure that for the Asia Pacific Regional Office for the next 1 year. So those were most likely I will try to make sure that the basic plans will try to meet as much as possible. And through all the monthly meetings, we have to evaluate a feasibility of our proposed plans, events, and activities, and evaluate whether it's possible given the COVID-19 situation. And then afterwards, closer to the event itself, which we have to see whether things like all the offline events such as APBS will be possible. And for this, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So now we move to the next question from UI Indonesia.
All right, thanks, Mike. So my question is, how do you ensure members being committed in IPSF? For example, this year there are ASOS that weren't submit their proper annual report and were not present here in RA without clear reason. How do you, as chairperson, assess every association in your mandate to make sure that no one left behind and that everyone commit in the IPSF? Or for example, do you plan giving penalty for such acts to make everyone commit? Thank you.
Thank you. Sudhun, do you want to clarify the question?
Yes, clarify.
Sam, can you try to say it again? Yeah.
Okay, so how do you ensure that members being commit in IPSF? For example, how do you as chairperson assess every association in your mandate to make sure that no one left behind and commit in IPSF? For example, do you plan giving penalty for such acts that association doesn't submit proper annual report and were not present in RA? To make sure that in the future they are commit. Thank you.
Thank you. Sudhun, please.
Okay, so in this case, I know that actually previously, for the past few years, we all have those KPI to evaluate the CPs, the members' organization, but during my art committee, if I'm elected, the KPI will still be there, but I'm not going to emphasize too much on it. And so that's why we'll have to try to make it, and then we'll go down more to explaining to meeting personally with each member organization at CP to discuss about everyone's challenges and how we can actually find ways to support them through our RWGs and our fellow subcommittee members. And everyone will work on this together.
Okay, thank you. Florencia, please.
Thank you, Salsa, for the questions. I don't realize that this has been something that we already have the difficulty. But to be honest, as RO itself, this mandate, I try to make sure that my communications with the contact persons are very close. I think the communication is something that we need to actually build stronger. Because, for example, even though BUPS and even PSSPNG didn't submit, for example, this mandate, actually they already come to apologize because of that. I think this kinds of communication is something that we need to actually evaluate. And in the future, of course, the close relationship between secretary and also RO and each of the subcommittees need to be strengthened. So that's how the contact persons will be reminded. And I also, as the contact person, need to keep a very good communications with them so they will feel engaged, because I do understand that each of our member organizations are actually very active. So that's how I want to expand and talk and explain about this. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we move to the next question from UPPHA Philippines.
All right, so especially, of course, with COVID and the pandemic right now. So I want to know how both of you envision to help our team for APPS and ensure participation.
Thank you. Florencia?
Thank you, William, for the questions. I'm actually very prepared about this. How I envision about APBS 2021 and how can I help with that. First of all, if that's going to be a pandemic, we need to also have some emergency plans. And therefore, I was thinking that we should actually have it online instead of just canceling it, if possible. And of course, we need to actually find some partners that are possible to make the events online. I think there are some things and games that we can do it online that can still meet the interests of our members and participants. And therefore, we also need to strengthen about our communication and try to evaluate about how we actually promote to each member organization. So make sure that everything of APBS is very transparent to the contact person and it can be passed to the members. And then besides of that, I actually have the strategy for also engaging with a lot of external partners. These kinds of external partners will also engage our participants in order to be convinced to come to your events and to see what are you actually offering. And of course, with the symposia and then like work.
Sorry, it's already 1 minute. So now, Sudhun, please.
Okay, so right now, I haven't thought of any potential plans in case if something happens that may not be suitable to host APPS and also the GPPD as well. But when the mandate starts, we will make sure that we will have all the emergency plan in place before, which is much in place way before like what happened like this year. And some other potential plans will include, because Manila is where the WHO VPO headquarters is at, so we can engage with them and try to have many activities through during this APBS if the physical one is not possible.
Okay, thank you. So now, because it's only 1 minute depth for the discussion, so I would like to know from the Regional Assembly, is everyone okay? We finished all the number on the speaking list. You can just use your emotion card to let us know, good or not. If you think it's good, just show the green card. If you think no, just show the red card. Wendy, please let me know if everyone is okay or not in the chat box. Okay, majority is green. So I need one member association to propose to finish all the speaking list now. Can I have one member association to propose? Okay, proposed by MAPS India and second by PPHSF Pakistan. So now I proceed to the voting. For those who are for, please show your voting card. For. Okay, so the motion passed. So we will just finish all the speaking list here and no more new questions added on. Okay, so now we'll proceed to the next question from UGM Indonesia.
Okay, thanks, Michael. So I'd like to ask what the most important things that suits your personality that you think you can make a better relations and also improvements within APRO teams and also all member associations.
Thank you. So student go first, followed by Florencia.
Okay, so one of my main skills which especially I've acquired when I am currently the individual membership coordinator is the problem solving skills, because during the start of mandate, I did actually try to encounter many potential issues related to the individual membership portfolio, which I have tried to identify. And at first, I couldn't think of any solutions, but sooner or later, after trying to think through and also communicating with other internal community members, and I could be able to come up with new solutions to try to figure out, although right now, a lot of things may not have been solved. And therefore, I believe these kind of skills would definitely be beneficial as a chairperson, especially the next 1 year is really uncertain. Thank you.
Thank you. Florencia, please.
Thank you so much for the question. I have actually two things. First is leadership. The second is actually communication. I think for the leadership, it's something that is the decision making from the chairperson. So I'm actually very strong in knowing how to direct people and how to make people feel encouraged to work. And at the same time, in the communication skill, I know how to target the external partners, how to build up the strategies, and at the same time, how actually I can make people feel feel motivated to be in IPSF APRO as the members. I am very strong in internal, externals relation, and as well as leadership. So I think these three can be witnessed through what I have been working on as our WG this mandate and annual report. Thank you.
Thank you. So now proceed to the next question from PPHSF Pakistan.
Thank you, Michael. This is me, Vakas, from PPHSF Pakistan. My question is that what are your plans to collaborate with the other regional offices for more events and competitions that may be beneficial for our members? Thank you.
Thank you. Florencia, followed by Sudun.
Thank you so much for the question, Waka. So as I have already mentioned in my nomination form, I actually have this kinds of interregional collaboration. So what I'm actually planning, not just interregional collaborations, but also we can do more with interprofessional collaborations between two regions. So therefore, I would like to bring more about public health competitions to be more impactful among the community of our members. At the same time, we also can structurize some kinds of campaigns together, and of course, policy writings, and even we also can have more competitions units in PD, for example, PCE, CSE, and ISE. I think these kinds of things have been done this mandate, and we can improve it for the next mandate. And I also mentioned about investors competition. This investors competition can be adopted to both regionals as well. I think that's how I actually maintain about interregional collaborations with my fellow contact persons if I get elected. Thank you.
Thank you. Sidon, please.
I've also engaged with with all the other regional officers when it comes to interregional collaboration, especially when it comes to all the competitions, and even continue on stuff like the COVID-19 the campaign which happened earlier this year. And besides, some other with regional office specific will be potentially with, because like for example, APRO this year also had model WHO, and so somehow we could actually also start with this model WHO thing to try out at first. And for other plans, not yet.
Okay, thank you. So now we proceed to the next question from PSAT Thailand.
Thank you. I'm Seth from PSAT Thailand. My question is, during your time in APRO, in your perspective, what is the weakest point in this organization? And as a chairperson, how can you overcome this weakest point? Thank you.
Thank you. So Sidon go first, followed by Florencia.
There are two. Firstly, there are within APRO actually only covers very few organizations, mainly from the East and Southeast Asia, and a few from the South Asia. And for the many past years, we haven't had the ability to like reach out to students, organizations from especially Central Asia, which only started around this year. And secondly, also after some new organizations joined APRO, that they were actually quite inactive because there were really very little support given to them. And if elected, especially because upcoming after the GA, there will be many associations who will be joining IPSF from the Asia Pacific Regional Office. And that's why we have at least 1 to 3 months of induction program orientation for them to actually adapt to IPSF and get to know more about IPSF so that they can motivate them to be part of the.
Sorry, Sidon, it's time's up. Okay, Florencia, please.
Thank you so much. So we actually have 3 major problems. First is member engagement toward the activities. Second is sustainability of new form association. And the third is language barrier. As you can see in the nomination form, I have mentioned clearly that I would like to have APRO mentorship program to get mentored for those new form associations to adapt with IPSF APRO within 3 months. I already mentioned this clearly, so it can actually ease these kinds of difficulty. The second point about member engagement, I think we need to strengthen our promotion. And at the same time, we need to be much more open for the members. Through APRO forum, we need to boost the frequency, as well as that I also established Box of Tomorrow. And besides of that, we need to also introduce more of them with IPSF and IPSF APRO through online introductorization, association visits, and more if there are any possibilities to open the border. I think these are the strategies that I have in mind right now with our current situations and major problems. Thank you.
Thank you. So now the next question from USPS Singapore.
Thank you so much. Now, the both of you in your nomination forms have mentioned that your portfolios have allowed you to see IPSF outside the traditional APRO paradigm, with Flo being the RRO and having interregional collaboration, as well as Situn being the individual member coordinator. So what I wanted to ask is actually a point on this interregional office collaboration. What do you think is the biggest takeaway point that APRO can adapt and improve from the other regions? Thank you.
Thank you. Florencia, go first, followed by Sidon.
Thank you so much for the questions. I actually, if Pero chairperson is also here or anyone from Pero, so I actually feel like Euro and Pero and AMRO and AFRO, they have different kinds of like their strengths. For example, in Pero, they are very good at like maintaining about language barrier. And they also have a diverse of RWG consisting of the people that can speak in a very different languages. It actually helps them so much with that. So it can be adopted in the next future by also strengthening our IPSF APRO translation committees. and to open much more engagement for the members to apply from different of the countries. And then, like for example, for Euro, there are also actually very much better in the externals. So therefore, we can actually adopt some of the things from their sides on how we can actually target the externals and get bigger benefits. And then, like for example, in the APRO, they're actually also very well maintained regarding their campaigns, and therefore we can actually adopt with them about how.
Sorry, Florencia's thumbs up. And next, rather by student.
Okay, so for this question, unfortunately, I'm not able to answer really that well because when I was actually as an IM coordinator, so I'm actually not focused so much on trying to find out what the other regional officers are actually doing. But every regional officers will have their both their strengths and weaknesses, and it will really take sometimes months and even years of experience for us to find out more about it. So if I get elected, then definitely we'll try to be exposed more to what everyone or the other regional officers, APRO, MRO, HERO, and EURO are doing. Thank you.
Thank you. So next question from Maps India.
Thank you, and thank you to the candidates for their presentations. So I had a very short question for the both of you. As you know, there are some struggling organizations within APRO, and are not able to participate in events frequently. So do you have any strategies in mind to tackle and help these struggling organizations? Thank you.
Thank you. So this time, student go first and followed by Florencia.
In my plan, I do actually suggested those one-to-one meeting, and I will actually prioritize. Actually, I will try. For me, I want to try to prioritize from new association followed by organization that actually need a lot of help and are actually struggling. And so the plans would include maybe also trying to engage the organizations with other organizations, as well as to also to request all the different regional subcommittees to come in, especially regional relations and the regional project subcommittee to come in and assist the member organizations, as well as, if possible, also from Chairperson from the internal portfolio together with Chairperson internal relations. Yeah, that's all about it.
Okay, thank you. Florencia, please.
Thank you, Niranjan, for the questions. Actually, it depends on what kinds of situations you acknowledge. For example, if it's about language barrier, that's why I mentioned in my nomination form about APRO promotional toolkits available in all languages by strengthening our committee. If it's about the project base, then I would like to suggest the RPO in order to open up the call in the beginning of the mandate for any kinds of assistance that is needed and necessary from all of our member organization when they would like to do PHPD and PE. And we can directly mention about how we can actually help them with that. And of course, the third point is about biannual one-on-one meeting. That's why biannual one-on-one meeting is very important, because that's how we actually engage with it, and that's how we actually get updated about what they are doing. Also, our WG needs to be very available to introduce about IPSF and IPSF APRO to the regions and to each of the member organization by maybe association visit if once again, if there is no COVID anymore, or even like to stay connected with them through our introductory session for each of member organization. So it actually.
Sorry, Flo, it's already 1 minute. So, okay, the lucky last one question goes to JPPha Philippines. Josh. Josh, you need to unmute your microphone. Or you have any technical issue?
Yes,
we can
hear me
hear.
now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we can all agree that both of you want more participation from members of IPSF APRO. So one avenue for this is the recruitment for subcommittee. So how will you ensure that participation from the member organizations will be equal and in the recruitment for the regional subcommittee.
Okay, thank you. Flo, go first and followed by Sidun.
Okay, thank you. Actually, about equality in the open call for the vacancies on our subcommittees in April is something that is not feasible because it actually needs a strong internal positions first. Therefore, what I would like to strategize on is focusing on the contact persons itself and how I can monitor the contact person to encourage them to reach out to their members. And if I know some of the members that are very potential and they are very interested in this, be it LIT years before or anyone from our previous LIT years and previous APBS participants, they can actually also engage with the subcommittees to do these kinds of ways. Am I answering it right if it's for APRO or if it's for APPS? If it's for APPS, I think I'm gonna do the team capacity building for the APPS. I think I didn't hear it wrong about APRO, right? Yeah, thank you. Okay, for subcom, then I think I answered your concern already. Thank you, Joycey.
Okay, no communication, please. Okay, and go to Sidun.
Okay, thank you. So for your second question on the April subcom, I'm not be able to answer because for the past 1 year, I'm not in part of the April regional subcommittee. But for member organization, how to ensure everything contribute equal, how to ensure all the organization contribute equally. However, this one I have to acknowledge that not all the member organization are actually all the member organizations are really unique, and we especially have to respect their own space because it's also what is the main objective for IPSF, which is to ensure that all the member organizations actively participate in the federation, but not to infringe them into their own initiative or the do you know what I mean? Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. So now we have already finished all the speaking list on the parliamentary system. So now we will proceed to, now I will close the floor for open discussion and proceed to the closed discussion. And may I have IWG to help me bring the nominees to the small breakout room?
So Brittany, if you can bring Florencia, Shidun, and also Nafila into the separate breakout room. Now, as we proceed to close discussion, I will give everyone only 1 minute to open up your camera. If you do not have your camera open, I will kick you out of the Zoom meeting room. And make sure everybody also put your hands up as of now. So whether it's resting, I want to see everybody's hands. And Michael, can you please stop sharing the screen as well?
All right, we're on my system now.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen to announce. So congratulations to Ms. Florencia to be nominated as the chairperson of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2020-2021. Congratulations. And also thank you for your application from Sidun. And also don't be frustrated and keep up your spirit. Yes. Flo, did you wanna say something to everyone here? And also to someone on the live stream?
Can you hear me? Oh
yes.
yeah. Hi guys, wherever you are, if you are watching this, I would like to thank you for your support. I will not be able to do it without you, and for all of the contact person, I hope if you guys are retiring after your positions, please make sure to influence your next generation to still be encouraged and motivated. And I would like to welcome everyone to come back to IPSF APRO whenever it is. And also for my competitor, Sidun, which is also my friend at the same time, you have been done a very good job. I would like to also see your further interest in IPSF APRO and IPSF Global. So I think I'm just going to thank everyone. I will not be able to make it without you. 1 more year mandate. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Don't forget, you also need to prepare your nomination form, send to the GA.
GA.
Okay. Wendy, I think you need to fix the parliamentary system. It should not be like that.
Yeah. Hold on. Like this.
All right. So I think that's the end for today's session because we cannot really proceed to the next election, although we we want to. Yeah. So I need one member association to propose to close the session today and to suspend the standing order. May I have the proposer and the seconder? Ooh, so proposed by MAPS India, second by NAPSA Australia. So now we'll proceed to the voting. Because it's the procedure motion, so I just ask for those who are against, please show your voting card. Okay, so 0 for against, so the motion passed unanimously. So yeah, Wendy, you can do the roll call.
Okay, so if I say your association name, please type a Y into the chat box. So I have NAPSA Australia, MAPS India, IPSF Indonesia, APS Japan, my PSA Malaysia, NSAPSO New Zealand, KNAPS Republic of Korea, NSPS Singapore, PSAT Thailand, PSMS HKSU Hong Kong, BIM Indonesia, BIM Canva Unpaid Indonesia, BIM Canva UGM Indonesia, BIM USD Indonesia, HMFIP IDB Indonesia, FOP Nepal, and PSA Nepal, PPHSF Pakistan, JPPha Philippines, JPPha Pi Philippines, UPPA Philippines, PSA Taiwan, UCPSA Uzbekistan, TDUPO Vietnam, VNU-HCMPO Vietnam.
Okay, I think that's all for today's session. Thank you everyone for your time, your participation.